Well, happy Monday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you. Let's get our heads right for a Monday morning. And definitely feels like a Monday. Off to a Monday start, but I'd say the mood is pretty good in here. We were just recapping all of the really ridiculous things that we saw in sports over the weekend. Like, we do a segment called Don't Do This. We do that every day at 7:20. We could do an hour of things that happened this weekend in sports that are don't do thighs. And we were dying laughing at some of them, man. So we'll get to those this morning, certainly. But let's check in with the crew. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Feeling good. A little full, actually, from my tailgate spread on Saturday night.
Yeah, you look like a hostage. I saw a picture of you, though. You look like a hostage.
I was just full. I just ate too much.
Was it like you went to the Aztecs football game?
Right. Or as my wife would call it, the
Cougs.
Washington State Cougs football game.
Right. How was that scene? I saw a lot of I didn't watch it because that was what, Saturday night?
Saturday night, late. It was a good game. The Cougs were well represented. They made as much noise, I would say, as the Aztecs fans. I thought San Diego State played their best game of the season. But the highlight was clearly the tailgate spread that Shelley made, which was unbelievable. I mean,
what'd you have?
We had
Tell us all about it.
satay-style ribs.
What is it?
With peanut sauce, like just like appetizer ribs. You just had one or two with some peanut sauce to start. Had gochujang cola braised beef sandwiches with house-pickled vegetables, root beer baked beans, and the piece de resistance, a homemade pineapple upside-down cake for dessert.
Sounds delicious.
Not exactly tailgate food, like gourmet. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's a little different.
It was amazing.
A little different than how I would do it.
Yeah,
because I don't have the skills to make.
Went into the game. Snapdragon Stadium. We were up near the top, but every seat is really good in there. Had a great view. Enjoyed the game tremendously. Unfortunately, college football is also timeout.
Look at the hostage. Look at the hostage.
It was just late, you know?
Yes.
The game didn't start until 7:30, and it's like there's injuries on every other play. Unfortunately, the field at Snapdragon Stadium really is an issue. They're sliding around like it's ice out there because of the bad grass and the sand all over the place, and it felt like every other play someone was coming up injured, and they'd stop the clock, and I would dread the official who would give the timeout signal, and then this guy comes out on the field with this big sign, and it's a countdown clock for the commercial for 2 minutes and 40 seconds every time. There was literally one segment, like that was second quarter, where it was 2 minute 40-second timeout, one play, injury, 2 minute 40-second timeout, one play, injury, 2 minute 40-second timeout. I'm going, this is interminable. Can we just get back to the game? It's actually a pretty good game if you guys would ever, play it on the field, and we weren't just sitting here watching it the entire time waiting for something to happen.
So I saw he was the editor, right? Jay Posner, editor of the Union Tribune?
Yes.
So I saw him tweeting about the game, the result, and the field. So I read it, and I went, oh, man, Jay's pissed. But then I was like, well, it's Jay. He gets pissed a lot. There's always something to pick apart, which again was kind of his job for many years. So I'm not blaming him or faulting him for that. But I want to ask somebody that was actually there. Now, then I'll see when the Wave play, I'll see Craig Elston, who does middays here. He's incensed about it. Who's happy about Snapdragon Stadium? Who's happy about playing there right now? No one.
It's not a good playing surface. The stadium's great. The playing surface is bad. What can they do? I mean, obviously you're going to have to rebuild that thing somehow to make it more durable and playable, especially if you're going to have San Diego State football, Wave soccer, MLS coming in. You got the Legion rugby that plays on there. It's just apparently too much. I mean, we should here in Southern California be able to grow a fairly nice grass field that remains somewhat decent over the course of the summer when we just get tons of sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I get it. Takes a while to dial something in. It's a new field.
Yeah, but this thing's been here for 3 years.
They need to get that figured out because that was a real problem. I felt bad for the players who, would take a cut and the grass would just slide right out from under their feet. You see this big, poof of sand coming up and going, that cannot be fun to play on.
It's like sandlot ball. Yeah. They're out there playing sandlot ball, D1. That's tough. And, the soccer players complain about it. The soccer fans complain about it. The football fans are complaining about it. Wait till MLS gets in here. They're going to want that thing pristine, right? They're going to want that thing as pristine as can possibly be. That's an issue moving forward. As are most things with most sports in this town, there's always some greater issue than the actual play on the field. Aztecs did lose that game, and I saw Jay very upset about that as well. And
they were up 12 going into the fourth quarter and gave up 15 unanswered points and ended up.
What is happening right now?
I don't know.
Losing.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Foreplay after a weekend, a fun weekend.
Yeah,
we're breaking down the field conditions at Snapdragon Stadium and talking about the Aztecs football
choking.
game.
Have they won? They've won how many games?
What is happening?
Three.
Right now?
3 games.
Yeah. They had won 2 in a row, and this was, Washington State's in the top 25 this
good
morning.
team.
That was probably their best game of the season that they played, maybe by a good margin. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to
close,
finish it out and win. They probably didn't get any help from the officials on a pass interference penalty that wasn't called late, but it doesn't really matter. It wasn't a league game. They're not going to the college football playoff, so it's just a growing experience for Sean Lewis's team, which I was actually impressed. Fake punt, ran a cool. They didn't call it a trick play, but a reverse to the wide receiver through a touchdown. Yeah, too sportsy for foreplay, but that was my weekend. So
you can go online and place prop bets on, like in the Super Bowl, what color will the Gatorade be and stuff like that. And there's different odds for all of the different options. If you would have had a bet that said, how will Ben and Woods start their show on Monday, October 28th, following 2 World Series games?
Massive game.
And just a big weekend for everybody. It would have been non-sports, I think, would still be the favorite.
Yeah, easy.
At what?
Minus 375.
375.
Easy.
Okay. And then will they open their show with the World Series?
Yeah.
Probably a close second.
Minus 200.
Where does
Aztecs
San Diego
plus
State
15,000, I think. Plus 15,000.
You asked me what I did this weekend. And that was pretty much all I did because Saturday took all day to put together the tailgate and then go to the game and then get home from the game. Didn't get back until 11:30 midnight. So it was a long day.
Because I watched the World Series on Saturday night, and by the time that game was over, I was spent, and I tweeted something to the effect of, "All right, it's now time to scroll my all of my subscription sites. Paramount Plus, Prime Video, Netflix, Apple TV, to find something to watch." And it's usually a 40 to 50-minute process to find something. And then I end up going and watching Sopranos to fall asleep, which I've done for the last decade and probably will do for the rest of my life. When in doubt, all right, let's see what Tony's up to.
But there's so many new things on right now.
Well,
I've got like a list like 10 deep that I haven't even gotten to yet.
We're different because I don't, once my kids go to bed, I'm free at night. And I'm free at about 7 to 7:30 every night. So I can watch TV for a couple hours, catch up on things. You're really not. And so, disclaimer, watched it, rewatched it, brilliant, waiting for the next one, have to wait till Thursday for that. So I'm scrolling through, and a lot of people somebody tweeted, well, have you considered Aztecs football? And I said, absolutely not. At 7:30 at night on a Saturday night after watching the World Series, I'm not flipping over. I got no money on it. Thankfully, Ben talked me out of betting on it. The line went up to minus 16. He's like, I think they'll keep it close. And in my mind, I went, I think you're insane, but I'm still not going to bet it, and I'm so glad that I did it. But, man, we had a great weekend. What I've realized is coaching, it takes up a lot of your energy. I coached yesterday, our Pinto team. We had a great time. We lost, but played really well, made some plays. That's all I care. As long as it looks like baseball. Right. Sometimes I don't really care about the wins and losses.
There's some herding cats to it, but you also want them to learn some baseball and learn some skills.
Make some plays. Yeah. I told them before the game, guys, I don't care if you win or lose. Let's make this look like a baseball game. Let's make it like you get a grounder, you catch it, you throw it to first. I don't even care if he catches it. Let's make it look, you get a grounder, you flip it to the shortstop, he's actually covering. Those are the things we're working on. So it makes me really happy. We played really well. And lost by a couple at the end, which is no big deal. We were on a run. You can only score 5 in an inning, thank God, because we were on a run. We would absolutely walked it off, but because we had scored 5 and we were rolling, but I didn't really care. I just wanted them to have a good time. We had soccer on Saturday. By the time that stuff's done, dude, I'm I'm just toast. I'm just toast. My kids too, man. I just got a FaceTime from them right before you guys were in here, right before the show started. And my heart gets a little nervous. I'm like, oh boy, who's sick? So they both were on the couch cuddling, sucking their thumbs with Hannah. Daddy, we had a bad dream. And I said, well, what was it about? Bo said he's been having like murder dreams. Ooh. And I'm like, all right, that's creepy. We don't watch, like, that one thing we won't watch is anything super violent, right? I'll watch risque.
Haven't you watched The Shining with Bo?
Yeah, but he was like 2.
Okay.
He didn't really know what the hell he was watching. And there's not a lot. That's
not that violent.
It's not that violent until like later. But it's not violent. It's not I'm coming to murder you. Like there's an aspect to that, but that's just creepy. So I try not to watch a lot of violence because it may scare him. But I guess they both had bad dreams, and he's been having bad dreams. And now when Bo has a bad dream, Taylor has a bad dream. But he wasn't the only one.
I had a bad dream.
Ben had a bad dream.
Yeah.
Explain it to me.
I actually literally had trouble sleeping last night because of my bad dream. And this was a weird one. So I was, for some reason, I was in a cooking competition, like on TV Food Network.
It's always food.
And I was going up against like this celebrity chef. I think it was actually Curtis Stone, if you know who he was. So it was me against him.
I like girls, so.
And I had to make a dish, and I decided I was going to make nachos. So
that was your big dish.
Yes, that was my big dish. And I remember having my ingredients. You know, I had my shredded
Welcome to
cheese.
the Food Network, Ben Higgins.
I was actually going to grill
Somebody's making root beer gaijin ribs.
Yeah,
I'm going
to make nachos. But unfortunately, this cooking competition started at 5 a.m. And I thought, oh, that's fine. Nachos aren't going to take more than 20, 30 minutes. I'll be done. And it was taking forever. And I had to text you, like, I'm going to be late for the show.
On a weekday.
Yeah, because I'm doing this cooking competition
on a weekday.
You were so mad at me. Like, why are you going to be late for the show because you're doing this cooking competition? I
don't give an F about your nachos.
I can't just leave.
Get your ass to the studio.
I can't just leave in the middle of it. I mean, I'm waiting on my nachos, and they're not done yet. You want me to just leave in the middle of this cooking competition?
No. You know what I want? I want you to not schedule these dumb competitions before our show starts.
An hour before your show.
That's what I want. I want to be a priority.
What was it, downstairs in the lobby? Like, how are you going to get here anyways?
Was it some sort of TV studio?
Yeah, a TV studio. You're in there making your nachos. Yeah. Then you have to get judged.
Yeah.
Then you have to wrap it up. You're not going to be here until 7 o'clock.
I miscalculated on the time. I knew it was my fault. Like, this is not working out. I should have never started this in the first place. It's a bad idea. So it's just a bad idea.
Your bad dream was me being mad at you for making nachos at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, you were not happy.
I must be a real monster. I must be a real.
You're ruining this
monster. The metaphor, Satan's Blowfish says, the metaphor, Woods won't let Ben follow his dreams. He's absolutely free to follow. You know what? Follow your dreams at 10:15, okay? Or on the weekend. I don't
want to even be in a Food Network cooking competition. That is not my dream. I've never had that dream. I don't want that dream.
Why did I get legitimately mad when he's in the fake text in my mind is like, I'm going to be late, bro. Like, if you got a flat tire, I'd be like, oh, that's a bummer. Paulie, your car won't start? Okay, those things happen. But if Paulie's like, hey, sorry, I'm waiting for these new Nikes to drop and I can't leave my house, I'm going to be like, get your ass in your car.
The cheese isn't all the way melted yet. I still got to put the jalapenos on.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not even close.
Like, being late is okay as long as it's a legit excuse. Making nachos isn't one of them. It's just not one of them. Oh, it's so good, man. So good. Well, yeah,
holy crap.
We do have some baseball to talk about, and I'm to the point now where I'm just excited to talk about the games. I don't really like how they ended, certainly, but I think again, I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but I can't imagine missing these games. They've been everything that's advertised so far, and we will talk about those.
2 good games. Also, when we come back, we'll set the menu. I want to bring up, I don't know, did you see this USA Today piece from Bob Nightingale this morning about Peter Seidler and Scott Boras? I feel like you need to bring this up early in the show today as well.
The one talking about Juan Soto?
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
Oh, Bob Nightingale wrote one this morning, just came out with some specific quotes involving Peter Seidler that I hadn't seen yet, so thought I'd bring that up as well when we come back. Glad to have you with us on a Monday morning. We will talk some baseball coming up, and Skip Schumacher is going to be on the show which always makes us all happy.
Got a story about him I got over the weekend. Oh, my God. A DM I got from somebody.
Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, Ben Higgins. We've got Kelly's Traffic, and then off and running here on a Monday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Padres fans are you're gonna hear this story at some point today, so we might as well be the first to bring it up. I think, and unfortunately, I think it's horribly unfair as well. At some point, the Padres front office and ownership will probably have to respond to questions about this story, and there's no way to truly confirm whether it is true or simply an opinion, simply a tactic by Scott Boras.
That's the word.
The super agent to many baseball stars, including Juan Soto, formerly of the Padres, now of the New York Yankees, who is heading into an historic free agency this offseason, which he's expected to break the bank, perhaps as no player ever has, especially if you consider all the deferred money in Shohei Ohtani's contract. In real money, Juan Soto's probably going to get more than any baseball player who is ever lived in the next couple of months. Would you agree?
I would. And, if you watched him play in the postseason, you see it. You see the ability that Juan has. And we saw it here. And, his Padres tenure gets crapped on a lot. But if you really go back and look at what he was able to do here, he's as special as any player that's come through here. He really is. And I hated this, man. I hated this. I don't like invoking Peter's name in business dealings like this a year later.
Pretty gross.
It feels gross.
It does.
And if you use it in conjunction, if you take this piece and you put it together with the other piece that dropped this weekend, miraculously, by the way, that the Los Angeles Dodgers on the off day yesterday, it was, the Dodgers are expected to be in on Juan Soto this offseason, which we talked about last week. I said here on the show, if the Dodgers want Juan Soto, the Dodgers will get Juan Soto. I do get the sense that he will go to whoever makes him the best offer. I do get that sense, which, by the way, he's absolutely entitled to do. Pretty odd that it came out on an off day as they are heading up to New York to play. It did feel like a tactic. This also felt like a kind of gross tactic of, hey, listen, because what does everybody say about Juan Soto? What did they say about him when he was here? Yeah, he's good, but he's always wanted to be on the East Coast. He never really wanted to leave Washington or the East Coast. All his family's East Coast. He really thrives on the East Coast, maybe the Phillies, maybe the Mets, maybe the Yankees. Then what comes out is, hey, he actually would have stayed with the Padres. We were really, really close. So the West Coast is great for him, too. One place you hear about Juan Soto is the Central. So I figure if you're a team in the Central, you can wipe out going after Juan Soto and getting him. I feel pretty confident it's going to be one of the coasts.
You don't think he's going to be a Red,
a
Royal,
a
coming
Guardian,
up now?
maybe? Yeah. I mean, I just don't see it happening.
So these are direct quotes from Scott Boras. So
And they're gross.
You can hold him accountable to it, as told to Bob Nightingale from USA Today. I will just read you the quotes that he spoke into existence here in this story. Quote, if Peter Seidler were still alive, none of this would be happening. Juan would have been with the Padres. He never would have been traded to the Yankees. He'd be a Padre today. Peter and I were knee-deep in Juan Soto contract discussions, well advanced. His illness really stopped the process because we knew the organization would be different. He wanted to push it through even though he was ill. I have a text message from him 4 days before he died. Be back online real quick. 3 weeks later, Soto traded to the Yankees. Quote, that doesn't happen if Peter is alive. Where we were at, Peter would have gotten the deal done. We were very close. Peter was not afraid. I don't know even how to respond to that.
That goes against so many things in that AJ Preller just did a Zoom, last week, a week ago today?
Yeah.
Did you see the picture? The framed picture behind him? It was him and Peter.
Yeah.
AJ Preller had a mustache for most of the year in honor of Peter Seidler. AJ Preller showed emotion, maybe for the first time ever, as GM and president of baseball operations at Peter's memorial when he broke down in tears. AJ Preller loved Peter Seidler. I believe Peter Seidler probably did want to keep Juan Soto.
Of course.
I don't know that
Why wouldn't you?
I don't believe that they were knee deep in negotiations and on the 1 yard line of an extension, because that means Peter passed away on November 14th, I believe. And 3 weeks later, AJ Preller's like, oh, thank God, now I can finally trade Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Because that trade happened within like 2 or 3 weeks of Peter's passing.
Yeah, because they felt like
that was the plan the whole time.
They needed to do that, and AJ Preller didn't go anywhere, and all this stuff, just the invocation of his name a year later, unless it has something to do with the great work that he did, the great human that he was, I'm kind of over
the legacy that he left.
Correct. Like, if you can invoke his name in the spirit of, I'm going to help more people. I'm going to be a better human being. I'm going to donate to the Lucky Duck Foundation, whatever. That's all fine and good. He inspires me every single day. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do get a gross feeling of like, hey, this all could have been avoided had he not passed away from, cancer. And I just think it's gross by Scott Boras, which is kind of par for the course. And I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it at all.
I think that one thing we know for certain, Peter Seidler had a lot of faith in A.J. Preller. Faith that this season turned out to be well-placed. One more thing that Peter apparently got right, that we weren't sure about, but he said, no, we are staying the course with A.J. Preller. We trust that this guy knows what he's doing, is going to get things done. And while, yes, the Padres reduced payroll, and you could read that as, well, that wouldn't have happened if Peter were still alive. I also think, as we've talked many times before, the competitive reasons for reducing payroll are very real in Major League Baseball.
Correct.
And A.J. Preller, looking at the situation, looking at the future of the team, very reasonably could have convinced Peter and said, I know you don't want to trade Juan Soto. I don't want to trade Juan Soto, but I don't see how we put together a fully complete competitive roster here in 2025 without trading him. And here's the plan. We're going to get some pitching. We're going to hold out for Michael King to, build around in our rotation. We're going to get these other pieces that I think are going to help us. And ultimately, by the way, A.J. Preller was proven out to be quite right in that decision. I don't think that Juan Soto alone, which even if you had kept him and signed him, you're now blown way past the luxury tax no matter what other moves you don't make, without augmenting pitching, without finding another catcher, without anything else.
We would have been screwed.
You would have been just like last year. It would have been an incomplete team that probably would have ended up being a disappointing mess at the end of the season. This version of the Padres, we know, was much better than the 2023 version of the Padres because of that Juan Soto trade. I don't think there's any other way to read the situation. And for these quotes to come out from Scott Boras I don't even know what the purpose of them was.
The only one is to let people know that my guy is having a monster series. He'll surf or ski, guys. He's going to be on the East Coast. He's going to be on the West Coast. Everybody wants a taste of Juan Soto. In fact, Juan was very happy to stay in San Diego, and we almost did it. Now, if I'm a Padre fan, I think it certainly doesn't get my hopes up that he'd be willing to come back here because I just don't think we can afford it. I'm certain there's going to be a phone call. All right, what's he looking for? All right, thanks, man. See you later. Right? I mean, I think all it is
that
is
ship has sailed.
It has.
It's fine to acknowledge that.
But I do think it's a bit of a sleazy tactic to let people know, to let Brian Cashman, to let David Stearns, the GM of the Mets, know, hey, he was pretty happy on the West Coast too. In fact, he almost stayed in San Diego. I do feel like it's a negotiation tactic. I just feel like it's sleazy. I feel like it's agent speak, and I think it's a sleazy move. That's just my opinion. So you can disagree, agree, but I'm just tired of invoking his name for anything other than the great work that he did. It bugs me. It makes me sad and mad.
Not a fun thing to wake up and be reading this morning, but like I said, I know you'll hear about it today. I wanted to be the first here to bring it up because clearly Scott Boras is trying to frame a conversation, and he's painting the Padres with a brush, and there's no way to ever really confirm what Peter did or did not say to Scott Boras, whether he led him to believe one thing or another. Dealings with agents are always kind of shrouded in a bit of cloak and dagger. You can never say exactly what you're thinking to an agent. Yeah, what we're thinking is we want to make your client the highest paid player in the history of baseball. Let's get it done. It doesn't operate that way. There's always, some stuff that you hold back, that you keep to your organization. You don't tell the agent. There's stuff the agent doesn't tell the organization. That's simply the truth when it comes to these negotiations.
Yeah, you hate reading that stuff, man. It just bums me out. But I'm glad you brought it up because it is going to be out there today.
All right, we will. I know it pains people, but we do have to talk about what was one of the great World Series games.
Right.
I mean,
take your
hated the ending.
I'm going to ask you guys. Do me a favor. Take the Men in Black thing, wave it in front of your face. Forget that you hate the Los Angeles Dodgers, because I do. Try to look at it from a 30,000-foot view. It was one of the best baseball games that's ever been played in the history of the game. It was unreal.
It reminded me of another phenomenal Game 1. And it's not the Kirk Gibson one that everyone brought up. That also was an incredibly painful moment for Padres fans. We will talk about that coming up. Again, we will have Skip Schumacher joining us at 8:35. Currently unemployed Major League Baseball manager, but my guess is getting a lot of phone calls at the moment. Get his thoughts on what's going on in the World Series as well. All of our regular features. Glad to have you with us on a Monday morning. Bennett Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. It really was one of the more unpleasant moments in my baseball fandom on Friday night. I can't deny that. Not just seeing the Dodgers walk it off with a grand slam by Freddie Freeman.
Insane.
But to see the guy cheering for it in the front row of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I knew that would sting you a little bit.
It was very unpleasant to see just Dean Spanos in just full-throated Dodgers fandom.
Yeah.
In the front row.
Yeah.
Cheering on that team.
Never mind. I had a full thought on Padres fans that still root for the Chargers, but you know what?
It's Monday. You know, we're getting close
Just
to
live-
holidays.
live your life.
Just live your life. Root for who you want.
If you can watch that and be like, hell yeah, man.
All right. Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
see you on Sunday, Dean.
Go
then,
ahead.
You know what?
Go ahead. It is what it is. You know, it
I've
is.
got thoughts, but I'll swallow
I mean,
them.
we've done it to death. It's the version in San Diego sports radio. It's the MJ versus LeBron. It's the Mount Rushmore. It's tired. It's been done 1,000 times. You're going to root for who you want to root for. I support you. Life's hard enough without getting grief for who you root for.
I
right?
mean, just the plain fact is, you can make the argument that, fine, you were never getting the stadium we wanted
no,
here.
No. We're not doing this.
But you could have.
No.
You didn't have to become a Dodgers fan. There's no
Hold back
requirement.
with your name on it.
There's no requirement to become a Dodgers fan when you move to L.A. There's no requirement. It's not in the charter that when you cross the county line
so sorry.
that you have to become a Dodgers fan.
I'm
sorry,
man. We're not doing this. He was always a Dodgers fan. Always. That's what I'm telling you. I was in conversation with, let's just be honest, somebody that knows him very well. He never wanted to be here, ever. Never. He always wanted to be there. That's what he wanted. He got what he wanted. We move on with our lives, right? We've got the Seals, and we've got MLS, and we've got the G League, okay? And we have a very exciting baseball team to cover here in San Diego. But Dean Spanos never wanted to be in San Diego.
Honestly, the excitement of Padres baseball, which I think is made in part possible by them leaving, has been way better than anything I ever got from them.
That's exactly right. So really take the good with take it as a positive that we don't have to come in here and pour over an 8-8 season or an 8-9 season. And why don't we have a better offensive line? We get to focus our energies fully on the San Diego Padres, and they have given us a lot to cheer for, a lot to question, which is a dream to cover. They're a dream. You know, it's not the Reds, it's not the Rockies, it's not the teams that just are never in it. You get the feeling that they're going to be trying to win for the next, next generation, hopefully. But as far as that team goes, here's what you're missing: the bigger point. The LA Dodgers, and I tweeted this the other night, it appears they are jinx-proof. They are immune to the jinx. They had those two Latina girls dancing. I'm sure we have the audio. We could find it. Before the game, their own version of That's What's In. No, doesn't matter. They walk it off in a grand slam. They had got one of their rappers. He's actually a pretty funny dude. Follows me on Twitter, Doze. He's doing this corny-ass rap before the game. No problem. They go out and win. Dean Spanos sitting in the front effing row. No problem. No problem. They go out and win. This is the problem. The baseball gods do not exist in L.A. They just don't. They're on a break. They have not smited them for all their goofy stuff.
We'll see.
It's not over.
We'll see about Shohei Ohtani and his subluxation, and we'll talk about that coming up. But we'll see if they truly are jinx-proof going forward. They do have a 2-0 lead, and as you said, Woods, take away the uniforms, take away your feelings about the franchises. Game 1 will live on as one of the better baseball games that we've seen in our lifetime. We will talk about it right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Headaches along westbound 8 this morning, guys, all due to this crash right before College. 2 left lanes are blocked. Also getting reports of a small brush fire starting up northbound 15 before Arrow Drive. It's over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, starts with a pitcher's duel between Garrett Cole and Jack Flaherty in Game 1 of the World Series on Friday night. Runs were tough to come by. Finally, the Dodgers break through on a Kike Hernandez triple in the 5th inning and Will Smith sacrifice fly. Then you've got the 6th inning when they stick with Jack Flaherty, and finally he gives up the 2-run home run to the absolutely scorching playoff hot Giancarlo Stanton, and the Yankees take the 2-1 lead. But both pitchers, I thought, Woods, and I'd imagine you'd agree, did a really good job there in Game 1 of the World Series.
Yeah, and we had talked a little bit about the gamesmanship that I think the Dodgers have been employing the entire series, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing shady about it. But you brought up the point, Mark Pryor saying, yeah, man, we're really concerned about Jack Flaherty throwing 91, 92. And I texted you guys after the first pitch. I go, oh, would you look at that? 96 right out of the chute. I mean, look, this is kind of what you do. If the Yankees were going up there thinking, hey, he's really on the ropes, 91, 92, let's get a few off him here. Well, you watch him spin the ball. He was fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Throwing hard. The curveball, the slider, that was whatever it was, sweeper, was nasty. He had those guys in their bag early. So he was great. Cole was just as good, pumping fastballs by guys. It was a really, really good duel between those two.
So it's 2-1 going into the late innings, and while everything will be written and has been written about the 10th inning, the Yankees really lost the game in the bottom of the 8th. They didn't have to go to extra innings at all in this one. Their bullpen was looking pretty good, but Shohei Ohtani hit his ball off the wall.
You got really lucky that ball did not go out.
Yeah, that's true. He hit it hard, but then it didn't, and you could have easily kept him at second base, but defensive miscue on the throw, the catch, the short hop,
throw was
the
fine.
Ball bouncing, not being backed up properly, however you want to kind of break that down. Allowing Shohei Ohtani to get to third there where he could score on the ensuing Mookie Betts sac fly may turn out to be like the hidden turning point of the series for the L.A. Dodgers.
There were 4 or 5 plays in that game. I mean, the Kike Hernandez triple, for all intents and purposes, should have been a double. Juan Soto, as good as he is at the dish, can get a little rough out there in the field. And I was not surprised that he had trouble getting that carom off the wall. He juggled it for a second. Shohei runs well, as we know, but he turned and fired it, and it was a one-hop to Gleyber Torres, who decided, well, I have such good hands, I'm just going to backpick this instead of getting big over it, letting it hit you in the throat if you have to.
Because Ohtani had stopped running.
He was
not trying to stretch it to a triple. That thought had not really occurred to him.
Gleyber tried to I'll say, I mean, you have good hands. You're a Major League Baseball second baseman. You kind of lazily try to pick that ball instead of just becoming a goalie and getting over it, letting it hit you in the chest, keeping it in front of you, and keeping him at second base, where a sac fly won't tie a game. And with a really good player coming up next, would have been very important to happen. So that's on Glaber, man. That was a really, really tough play. And you can't get lazy. They had 3 defensive they gave them third base 3 times in that game. Verdugo did it, Soto did it, and Glaber did it. And you knew it was going to come back to bite you. You cannot give that team extra bags. And Dodgers won that battle, man. They took all those extra bags. They ended up scoring that big run. And then you're going to get down to the decision, I think, that is going to haunt Aaron Boone for the rest of his life.
Let's start with the top of the 10th, when the Yankees did what seemed like the impossible and actually scored off Blake Trinan to take the lead there. Could have had more, ended up scoring on the infielder's choice by Volpe when Tommy Edman made the diving play. Couldn't get the double play, but, may have saved multiple runs by just, making the stop there and keeping it at 3-2 in that situation. But then you get to the bottom of the 10th. So this to me, and why one of the reasons why I picked the Dodgers to win the series is the difference in the bullpens. And the Yankees had used their top guys, and then they're left with, I'm going, who is Jake Cousins, and why is he pitching right now for the New York Yankees? I'm sure if you're a Yankees fan, you go, oh no, he did this and that, whatever. I don't remember seeing a ton of Jake Cousins throughout the postseason, and all of a sudden he is in this huge situation. The Dodgers put 2 on against Cousins, and then it comes down to the decision. Yankees have 2 relievers up in the bullpen. Tim Hill, who we're very familiar with, the former Padre, and Nestor Cortez, the starting pitcher who hasn't pitched in a month but has been added to the World Series roster, had been reportedly looking good in throwing sessions, but hadn't thrown a pitch in anger since, the regular season for the New York Yankees. And when they went to that commercial break, Woods, I was pretty sure they were bringing in, I was watching, on my phone, I was pretty sure they'd bring in Tim Hill in that situation based on how he had pitched in the playoffs. And, to face Ohtani, I just assumed that was the case. And then it was Nestor Cortez that came out of the bullpen instead.
I couldn't believe it. I honest to God, couldn't believe it. And I've seen people defending the move. Well, Nestor his pitches match up better with the what they're looking for to get Freeman and all that. And listen, like I tweeted the other night, I said it's really, really tough to come in if you're Nestor Cortez. You get the MVP on one pitch. By the way, one pitch to Shohei, Verdugo with one of the sickest catches you'll ever see. Even when they make a great catch, they still get screwed because he goes over the wall. Those 2 guys advance. And I saw a bunch of you guys online talking about why would you walk intentionally the run to second base? He was already on second base. They got a free bag when he goes over the wall.
Yeah, it was second and third.
First base is open. Let's make sure we get that right. First base was open. You've got a lefty in Cortez against Mookie Betts, who has been scalding the baseball. Somebody look up quickly his postseason numbers. This isn't the Mookie Betts from the last couple seasons. He's in the 360s, I want to say, right now. Mookie is cracking it. So I understand wanting to go lefty.
You got to force at every base, just in case.
I can absolutely defend.
I mean, you can also say, Freddie's got a good eye. You could walk him. So there's an argument to be made either way. But I think that was the right call.
I do too, man. I do too, because what happens? There's a couple different ways to look at it. What happens if Mookie Betts hits a single and you lose the game? What does everyone say? What are you doing? You've got a one-legged Freddie Freeman on deck, who's he's on one leg. You got a lefty-lefty matchup. What are you doing, Aaron? Why would you let Mookie Betts beat you? The ball's coming in from here. He's only throwing 92. Go lefty-lefty. So everyone crushed him for that.
I think the bigger question is definitely why
not Tim
Cortez,
Hill? Yes, why not Tim Hill?
By the way, the last time he pitched, Wednesday, September 18th.
It makes no sense. Yeah,
that was the last time he pitched before Game 1 of the World Series with the game on the line to an MVP.
Roddy in chat said Freddie's batting over 600 in his career with the bases loaded. It's 14 games. His last 14 games, he's red hot. Or 14 games off a lefty. I saw those same numbers. It's a really small sample. Mookie 0 for 5 against Nestor in his career. Also a massively small sample. When you're throwing 92, the question's not do you walk Mookie Betts. The question is why do you bring in Nestor Cortez? That's the question.
It's also hard to totally evaluate Nestor Cortez. He threw 2 pitches the entire night.
Yeah, they both
to
sucked.
It's hard to do, but
They
he
both sucked.
He threw 2 pitches to 3 batters, got away with the one to Shohei on the foul pop-up.
There was still 92 down the middle.
They ordered the intentional walk, didn't have to throw a single pitch to Mookie, and then threw the 1 pitch to Freddie that ended the game. I mean, he threw 2 pitches the entire night, and it's the decision that I'd imagine kept Aaron Boone up, that night and going, I wonder what would have happened if I had brought in Tim Hill instead.
Well, and again, okay, so we talk all the time about moves that you can explain. If you bring in Tim Hill and he gives it up, is anyone going to say, why didn't you go to Nestor Cortez? No one on the planet is going to say that. Not one person. Timmy Hill has been really good. Timmy Hill came out, same situation the next night, got the job done. It's just... That's the one that makes you insane if you're a
Either
Yankee
way,
fan.
the Yankees are choosing from Jake Cousins, Nestor Cortez, and Tim Hill, and the Dodgers just keep bringing in good relievers.
Walking Gavin Lux is the worst mistake that you made, period. It was terrible.
Padres did get some good news over the weekend as well. We'll get to that and some take on Woods coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. So one other thought on Game 1 of the World Series. I said it reminded me of another game, and it wasn't the Kirk Gibson game, although people did show the side-by-sides of the 1988 home run by Gibson and him limping around the bases, and there were clearly some parallels there between him and Freddie Freeman in that moment.
Freddie did leg out a triple earlier in the game.
He did,
so
yes.
I don't think
Kirk Gibson was a pinch hitter coming up to take the one swing, the swing of his life, but the one swing. No, it was actually 1998 Game 1 between the Padres and the Yankees, which was another epic World Series game. Hard to remember that as a Padres fan, knowing how painful it turned out. But that was, of course, the Mark Langston, Tino Martinez Grand Slam game. And, you know, Mark Langston, it wasn't the 10th inning, but he was a starter for the Padres that season, who was brought in instead of what had been a very effective, bullpen by Bruce Bochy in that situation after Kevin Brown had been knocked out, and then they went with, I think, Donnie Wall, and he got hit around. So the Yankees are rallying. They're coming back in this game.
What was the score?
It was 5-2. I got the box score up here. So It was 5-2 Padres going in, I believe, to the bottom of the 7th inning. Yeah, 5-2 Padres. They knock Kevin Brown out after 1 out. And then Donnie Wall comes in, doesn't get either of the batters he faces out. So they bring in Mark Langston, bases loaded, and the rest is history on the, could have got him at the knees on the 2-2 pitch, called it a ball, ends up hitting the grand slam. But the choice to go with the left-handed starting pitcher rather than one of your other, Randy Myers, who was on that team and actually pitched later in that game, was in your bullpen, a really good lefty reliever that season for the Padres, overpaid, but not a bad relief choice. But he went with the starter there, and it ended up backfiring on the Padres in that situation. They, of course, lost Game 1 and went on to get swept in that series. But that truly was one of the epic World Series games. David Wells against Kevin Brown of all time, with the drama. Tony Gwynn hitting his home run, really off the facade there at Yankee Stadium. Terrific game. Not the outcome you were hoping for as a San Diego baseball fan, and felt the same way about Game 1 of this World Series. Terrific game. Not the outcome I particularly was hoping for in that game.
Hey, I just sat there flabbergasted when I saw it. And yeah, man, look, I don't like that team. Several players on that team I don't like. Freddie Freeman, it's kind of hard to dislike Freddie Freeman. He's kind of a goober, there's no doubt. But, I think about what he's been through this season with his kid and almost losing his son. It's pretty special. And then, of course, I'm sitting there after, and I see the press conference he does talking about his dad. And I'm like, you bastard, don't you do this to me, Freddie. Don't you pull on this cold, dead heart and the strings that hang from it. And talking about his old man throwing him batting practice and how this moment was for him. And I'm like, what a moment for him. What a moment for Dodger fans. If you happen to be in the house that night and saw that, congratulations. It was a big one. One of the cooler World Series moments that you will see. I say that begrudgingly. Listen, I'm a hater. I'm not an idiot. Okay? I am a massive hater, but I'm not a moron. Like, I get that was pretty awesome to be a part of. Would love for it to happen to us someday. But in that moment, just dropping the head of the bat right there, Benny, on 92, middle in. It was the minute he hit it, you went, oh, yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's
bat in the air.
Ball game.
Yeah.
That's a ball game right there.
Yeah, you knew it. You knew it for sure.
Crazy, man.
Need a contestant for Take on Woods. Got a new prize this week if you want to battle Woods in our musical trivia contest in a couple of minutes. We got a couple of tickets for the Aztecs basketball season opener. Another exciting season coming up at Viejas Arena. Those ones are premium chances to get in with the show and everybody as the Aztecs kick off the season next week on November 6th. And you can win them, but you have to take on Woods by calling in at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Have our game coming up.
You will be qualifying to win
Correct.
one pair for the week.
Well, I mean, it's just a week, though. How many people actually do beat Woods? Maybe Woods sweeps the week.
I'll take him.
And we give them,
And we just,
I'm an Aztecs
we give them
fan.
last Friday.
No, I want to go. I'll go. If I sweep the week, I get the tickets, Adam. Sorry.
That's hey, we don't make the rules.
Yeah.
That's Woods is a
what time's that game
competitor,
on
too.
Wednesday, by the way?
Oh, 7 o'clock
7:30.
on Wednesday? Yeah. Woods will go for the first 15 minutes.
Go for the first 15 minutes. It'd be fun.
So call in now if you want to try to qualify to win the Aztecs basketball tickets. But if you beat Woods, you've got a very good, at most 50-50 chance,
For
I
sure.
would think,
Just want to make sure it's
of winning. But thank you for the clarification. Get to get some good news this weekend.
This was cool.
Jackson Merrill was named the 2024 Players' Choice Award NL Outstanding Rookie. And why that's important, the official Rookie of the Year award won't be announced.
This is Jackson Merrill.
Until after the World Series when they do their big award show. He already won the Sporting News Rookie of the Year award. But there is, I think, an extra honor to be chosen by your fellow players as the guy that they thought was the Rookie of the Year. It's always a little bit more meaningful when it's your peers who make the decision.
1,000,000%. I mean, what means more than I clicked that video. And I watched that video, and it started with, who was the first one?
O'Neill.
Tyler O'Neill.
I believe he was the first one.
Talking about how clutch Jackson was this year. Then it goes to Chris Sale, and Chris Sale's like, this dude's going to be a problem. He's elite. He's a clutch player. And then it goes to one, Shohei Ohtani, speaking in Japanese very glowingly of Jackson Merrill. I'm like, you keep his name out of your mouth, number one. I don't need you infecting him with, But
Shohei got in on the early odds for Merrill to win the Rookie of the Year, so he's rooting for him.
But I mean, that's pretty big when the world's biggest star is like, you're a very good player. And then it went to Rhys Hoskins, who I love, was like, this kid's a G. I thought that was a really special moment for Jackson Merrill, and he's a special player, as we all know here. And the cool thing is, the other guys he plays against, they get it too. And I don't know what that means, Benny, as far as I have not gone back and looked at
correlation.
Hey, yeah, if you won the Sporting News and you won the ML, it would feel ridiculous at this point if the greasy writers went in and named Paul Skeens over Jackson Merrill when the players he plays against is like, no, it's him. I love Paul Skeens. I love Paul Skeens, but he doesn't deserve this.
I think the one that goes down in the history books is the baseball writers one. So that
which doesn't make any sense.
In that, well, I mean, at least I don't know.
I get it.
How much do the players really?
It's the only explanation.
Watch every games
more than the writers. More than the writers in you're telling me the guy in
I wouldn't
Cincinnati,
say that's true.
You tell me the guy in Cincinnati is more well versed on Jackson Merrill than guys that go play against him every day?
Not every day. Maybe twice a season at most, and you don't really watch a ton of other baseball.
Whose words do you value more,
player.
Chris Sales or the Braves beat writer for The Athletic?
Yeah, David O'Brien, I think is his name.
I'm just saying there's certain players I think whose opinion I would value a lot, especially like NL West players who saw him a bunch. A guy who maybe played against him on the East Coast once. I don't know how many votes there are who
Why
actually.
Are you actively campaigning against Jackson Merrill? Is what I'm
not
asking
campaigning.
Right now.
I think the writers should make the same decision.
You always side with the writers because you're a.
I think they should make the same decision as the players.
I do too.
I'm just trying to explain why that award carries at least as much, if not more, weight than the one that the Players Award carries.
I think to you, but I think to Jackson, that's the one that matters, I think. Right?
I don't know.
It's not the big one.
If you could only win one, I'd want to win the actual
one that goes
Rookie of the Year, the one that goes down
books.
in the history books.
I think it's
nobody's ever remembered the Players' Choice Award winner if there wasn't.
You know what? That's our fault then. We need to do a better job at marketing the one that actually matters. From the players, the guys what is better than being nominated by your peers?
I do wonder what's the discrepancy between the players' vote and the writers' vote. Like, is it usually the same?
Well, ask
different?
yourself just one question. Would a player have a bias against another player? No, he wouldn't. What would the bias be? You can see why a guy in Pittsburgh would say, oh, it's Paul Skeens, right?
Well, I fully expect the Pittsburgh guy to vote for Paul Skeens.
As do I. But you would see why,
I also fully expect whoever the San Diego voter is to vote for Jackson Merrill. It'll be determined by the other 28 votes.
I don't know. We do goofy stuff here all the time, our writers, and I didn't vote for so-and-so to get in. Well, okay. Makes sense. There's more inherent bias in a writer, in my opinion, than there is in a player. What good does it do Rhys Hoskins to be like, it's Jackson Merrill, or it's Paul Skeens? It doesn't do him any good. So I don't know. I ride with the players.
I mean, you'll have certain players who probably could not hit Paul Skeens going,
it's true.
This guy's the greatest pitcher I've ever seen. and go, I got to vote for him.
Well, Reese Hoskins would be one of those guys.
And then you probably had a bunch of guys who were like, I didn't face Paul Skeens, but do you see what Jackson Merrill did? I know for sure that was valuable to his team. So, there's biases for everybody. Writers and players will have some biases. All right, I see a couple of calls in. Let's get to our game. It is time to play. Take on Woods. All right, I have no idea who is up. Let's see. Caller, who's this? You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
Mario.
Mario. All right. You want to play Take on Woods?
Sure.
Excellent. You are our contestant today. Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Again, you're playing to qualify for the pair of tickets to the Aztecs basketball season opener on November 6th at Viejas Arena. All you have to do is beat or tie Woods in our 5-question musical trivia challenge. I'll even give you the category choices to give you some help here. We've got On the Chessboard. Those are 5 questions that involve chess pieces and musical songs. We've got Blank Like Blank, titles that feature phrases connected by the word like. And guess what? I've also got Blank Like Blank Part 2. So it's pretty much a choice between A or B here. On the Chessboard, Blank Like Blank or Blank Like Blank Part 2, Mario?
On the chessboard.
All right, on the chessboard. I finally got someone to take it. All right, set up the pieces. Get ready for a game of chess inside today's game of Take on Woods. All of today's answers have something to do with the classic board game with a history going back more than a millennium. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5, Mario. If you don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time remaining on the clock. First question is our 2-second song. Paulie will play some music. You need to identify the song title and the artist to score that point. Are you ready to play, Mario?
Sure.
All right. Think chess pieces. Think chess. On the chessboard, the category. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Mario. Let's take on Woods.
She keeps a Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet.
Oh, man, I know it's Queen. I don't know the name.
Pass. With her backing band,
Pass.
The Pips, which artist is best known for classics like Midnight Train to Georgia?
Pass.
Lucille is the name of which blues legend gave to all of his guitars, usually black Gibson models.
B.B. King.
Correct. Which artist's 1976 single Fooled Around and Fell in Love can be heard on movie soundtracks including Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Boogie Nights?
Pass.
Which song from the Broadway musical Chess turned into a 1980s hit for English actor and singer Murray Head?
Pass.
Go back to our 2-second song. You just need the title. Time is up. I think we just got one there. We got B.B. King. That was Killer Queen by Queen. You knew the band, Mario. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Elvin Bishop, Fooled Around and Fell in Love. And One Night in Bangkok by Murray Head is the chess song. So you got Queen, Knight, King, Bishop, and One Night in Bangkok. Our chessboard category. All right, Mario, your score is locked in. Don't know if it'll be enough against Woods. He is on his phone. He is
Come on in.
locked in, probably reading tweets. You reading some tweets out there? What you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
On the X machine. All right, Mario's score is locked in.
Adam did say if I sweep the week, I can have the tickets, which is probably illegal.
Probably.
Somewhat, but
All right, the pressure's on.
Pressure's
Mario's
more
score is
pressure.
locked in. No category for Woods. 60 seconds back on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Mario.
She keeps a Moet
it's Queen, and the name of the song is. I'll come back to it.
With her backing band, The Pips, which artist
Gladys
is...
Knight.
Correct. Lucille is the name which blues legend gave to all of his
B.B.
guitars.
King.
Correct. Which artist's 1976 single Fooled Around and Fell in Love can be heard on movie soundtracks including Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Boogie Nights?
You're looking for the artist?
Yes.
Fooled around and fell in love.
Good
Son
song.
of a bitch. All right, pass.
Which song from the Broadway musical Chess turned into a 1980s hit for English actor and singer Murray Head?
What is the category? The Queen song is.
Go back to the song.
She keeps them always shallow in a pretty cabinet.
What the hell? I'm done.
Which artist 1976 single fooled around? You know, just the two, and you sneak out a 2-1 win. Tough category.
Thank God.
It's been sitting there for like 3 weeks.
Give me the name of the category.
On the chessboard, you had B.B. King and Gladys Knight.
Okay, so the Queen song is, what is it? It's going to drive me
Killer
crazy.
Queen.
Killer Queen.
By Queen.
Okay.
So you Queen, Knight, King. Fooled Around and Fell in Love is Elvin Bishop.
I would have forgotten that.
And then One Night in Bangkok is
that's
the
it.
Chess, the musical. That's
You love that song.
I know. It all ties together with the board game of chess in that category. You did sneak out to win, so you're still alive for your Aztecs tickets at the end of the week.
God.
We'll have another game tomorrow, see if we can
Stomach
qualify
hurts,
someone.
bro. That was like on the cusp of all of them.
People have avoided that category like the plague,
yeah.
for weeks.
Well, good for him for trying.
But Mario gave it a try and unfortunately came up just a little bit short. He was close. He got Queen too. Couldn't think of the name of the song, just like you. I think Gladys Knight was the only difference in that one.
Thank God.
All right, Woods is. We may have to double. Don't do this like the first
do we
ever
even start?
double.
Where do we
double
start?
DDT
I mean,
today.
there's so many.
We'll just keep going until we run out. I think
We've got a statue reveal that happened yesterday that just laid me out. I mean, it's radio, but we also are on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't seen it, it's unbelievable.
we have a quarterback who's never going to live down
Never.
a decision in a moment.
Never.
From a game yesterday.
Imagine
ever.
if I was a quarterback, what I would say after a game. I mean, it is just incredible.
And how the turntables have turned on a defensive player in the Chicago-Washington game in about, 2 seconds, 3 seconds max.
the moment of the day in sports yesterday,
God.
bar none. All coming up next with Ben and Woods and Murray Head on San Diego's #1 sports station after Kelly's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, we had a lot to choose from. We've narrowed it down to 3 just in service of time this morning. Don't do this.
We had to push one to the Rhino Report. I mean, there's so much to get to today. No do this today, by the way. These are all don't do this. But yesterday, the Miami Heat unveiled a statue of their best player of all time in Dwayne Wade. And
there was LeBron played for them as well. But I think the one that is most identified with the Heat
is D Wade.
Yeah.
And they unveiled it, and he was there for the unveiling, and he stood there with his hands folded in front of him and kind of walked around it and looked. And when they did the close up, the body looks okay, I'd say, and then you get to the face, and it looks like a 90-year-old man. His head on the face of D Wade's body. It is.
I think it's scary.
Very scary.
It looks horrible. And I thought to myself,
You know, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when his face starts
to melt.
melting off at the end, it's
the
like
very
in the
beginning.
first. It's like in the first stage of his face melting off because he
looks
just
like
looked
the
at the ark.
zombie in I Am Legend.
Yeah, somebody said it looks like Jimmy Kimmel when he did Carl Malone, and that's pretty dead on. What a feeling that must be. We remember Ronaldo's statue. It was terrible. I don't know what's happening to statue makers, but they've fallen off. They're
They're
really
all
have.
on drugs.
They've all fallen off.
Is it a field or an industry that is attracting
New
the
talent?
best talent, the new talent? I mean, in the old days, there probably were a lot of really great statue makers,
Sculptors and whatnot.
Sculptors. Nowadays, with all the digital art and stuff, I'm just not. Sculpting may be a dying art form.
There's got to be a way to with all the technology you have now. You need to be able to plug in somebody's face to a computer, and it goes and chisels it for you.
Yeah, like a 3D.
3D.
Let's just do 3D printing
3D printing.
instead of like bronze sculpture. It's just 3D print stuff, and replace it every year or two or whatever it's made out of.
It's a tough
Plastic,
look.
it's fine.
Well, I ask you the question: would you rather have no statue at all or a statue like that? I'm going with no statue at all.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have a painting of us. And it didn't go very well.
If we had a statue and that was what they used, I would say thanks, but no thanks. I'll pass. It's so bad. Poor D-Wade. And you got to stand up there and be like, oh, what a great honor to look like somebody that
Where is
doesn't even
that
look like
painting
me.
of Benham Woods nowadays? Anyway?
Do you still have it?
I never had it. No.
I thought you had it.
No. No.
Does Craig Elston have it?
Craig may have it.
He may have stolen it from the old station.
Amongst other things that he stole. He walked out of there with like $50,000 worth of equipment as well. So he showed me the trunk of his car that day. Well, you're set for life. Yeah, he may have it. I have no idea. I don't ever want to see it again.
All right. I've got a.
Paulie's going to put it up on the feed. All right, great.
I've got as Paulie looks that up, I've got a very questionable moment for a quarterback yesterday. That would be, there's the picture of you, me, and that's not Paul.
That's me, fresh off of my my Golden Gloves debut that I got punched right in the nose, apparently. You got to be kidding me.
Ben's eyes are about half an
Half an
inch
inch
apart.
apart.
Yeah, they're not level.
I am the ugliest human alive.
Sloth from the Goonies.
You are a cherub. You look like a little
This is in the
fat
lobby,
cherub.
the lobby of our old radio station.
Yeah, us with Darren and everybody
Jim
else.
Rome had
Jim Rome.
one.
Oh,
Darren
and-
Smith.
Hell yeah.
And then
Joe Totino's never looked better.
Never,
But
ever.
the two of us are.
I feel like Joe might have been the one that painted it, to be honest with you. I think he was the actual painter.
we certainly organized it.
All right, Anthony
You
Richardson.
fat little cherub, Ben.
Of the Indianapolis Colts. They were visiting the Houston Texans. Third quarter, trying to drive his team to a score in Houston territory. First down, scrambles around. Second down, scrambles around again. Second and goal. Ends up, shaking off a sack, but ultimately gets tackled for no gain. And then does the thing where you tap your helmet, which is a sign to hey, I need to come out of the game. Like something happened. And immediate speculation was an injury. They showed replays. They look, didn't see it there. Didn't see it there. What's going on here? Why is your starting quarterback in the red zone in the third quarter coming out of a game in a key situation? And he was asked about it in his post-game news conference.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a break right there.
I was tired.
Tired. Was a lot of running, and he did. He did do a lot of running. He
did. Aren't you? If you're Anthony Richardson, you're supposed to be conditioned for that.
Yeah, I mean, they.
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play. So I just, just told Sam I just needed a break right there.
All right, in one sense, you go, all right, I know I'm not at my best here, so I want to give the team the better chance to win. I'm going to say I'm going to tap out. The problem is that you're putting in this case, it was Joe Flacco, who's fine quarterback, but you can't really expect him to come in without any warm-ups. There's no injury, so he's just got to run in there while the clock is ticking. And so they do what they have to do. They just give up handoff to Jonathan Taylor and settle for the field goal, which is fine. And they got within 7 points there, but I don't think there's many quarterbacks in the NFL or NFL history who have tapped out of game just because they ran around and scrambled too much the previous 2 plays.
I'm dead, dude. I mean, that's like
You get through one more play. It's 3rd and goal. You get through one more play. You're coming off the sidelines.
You get a breather.
One way or the other. You're getting a breather in one more play. You can't suck it up for one more play.
What does sports radio in Indianapolis sound
they're
like
losing.
today?
Did they end up winning?
No,
They lost.
They backdoor covered on a late touchdown because that was my pick. Texans -5.
I lost on that one.
And they scored a touchdown to pull within 3, but never had a chance to win it. It's always that frustrating loss on the backdoor cover loss. But yeah, they did lose the game.
Texans have the lead. They have a 3-point lead with like 2 minutes to go, and you're like, oh, they're just going to run the clock out. You bastards!
Score!
Field goal!
Anything!
Gets us the win. No,
Yeah.
no cares about covering for us, Paulie.
0%. Yeah, it's a fun one that they're going to have some fun with this morning in Indianapolis. I promise you. We do appreciate honesty and frankness from our athletes until we don't.
Yeah,
until
I
it's
know.
like, all right, well, there's.
Like, never mind. Just tell me, Coach,
I
put together
I
great
tweaked
game plan.
something on that play, and then it was fine a few minutes later, but I tweaked
Yeah,
something.
I had my knee.
Yeah.
We got
You just caught for a second. Yeah.
so I just wanted to make sure I was all right. It's tough. That's something my Pinto leaguers would do. Right, like they come off the field in the middle of a game. Where are you going? I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, there's 2 outs. You can't wait? No, I'm going to go pee. All right, see you later. But they're 6. They're 6.
Yeah,
they're not grown men.
It's definitely a lesson that their parents have taught them. Hey, you got to go.
You got to go. You got to go.
Go
Yeah,
now.
100%. And I'll get us wrapped up on Don't Do This today with something that just can't happen. And you talk about Indianapolis sports radio this morning. How about Chicago sports radio? Game in hand. 1 play left for the.
Well, before that, give one at least minor DDT for them running a goal line refrigerator Perry style play that turned into a fumble when they could have added, a touchdown that they didn't end up scoring, and turned out that they needed really badly at the end of the game.
Talking about the Bears.
The Bears, yeah, one of the worst offensive play calls at the goal line. Giving it to a guy who's not a ball carrier, who fumbles it, he does not get the handoff at the 1, going, what are you doing? But then of course, there's this at the end of the game after they do score and take the lead.
Yeah, game still in hand, and they're feeling pretty good about their chances. Washington, the Commanders are going to need a Hail Mary to win this game. And they drop back and they sling it down the field, and it ends, right? Hail Mary. What you didn't maybe see on the television that you got, somebody actually took a video from a luxury suite, and if you look to the left bottom corner, there is Chicago Bears cornerback Tyreek Stevenson, who is in the end zone, essentially dancing, waving, gyrating, having a ball, going after fans, in Washington.
He's
taunting, saying, look, we're about to win this game. Yeah, keep it up, keep it up. Well,
The
next
play
thing,
has already
the play has
snapped
started.
Behind him,
and he's still
He's got
waving
his
his
back.
arms.
He's got his back to the play. And they drop back. Look.
Wide receivers are running, and he's still yelling.
He's still. Quarterback is back with the ball. He's about to sling it. His back.
Look how
is to
far
the
the wide receivers have moved by the time that he turns and realizes, oh, F word.
They're at the
play
30. They're at the 30. They got 30 yards, and they are going full bore.
Oh, wait.
He turns around. He goes, oh, God. So then he kind of runs to the
Now
side.
he gets back in the play.
He gets back in the play, but here's the problem.
Oh, does he get back in the play?
He gets back in the play.
There he goes, all the way to this. There he jumps in, tips it up right to Noah Brown for the game-winning Hail Mary reception in the end zone.
He's the one. He tipped it in to the Guardian, the Commanders player to score the touchdown. Now, he went to Twitter after. He knows he screwed up. He said to Chicago and teammates, my apologies for lack of awareness and focus. Game ain't over till zeros hit the clock. Can't take anything for granted. Notes taken. Improvement will happen. Good for you. Good for you. You owned it. You move on. But, man, that's such a huge, huge mistake. Oof. Oh, it's funny. It's funny to see if you don't care about either team.
Oh, yeah. So I missed this live. I
was watching it.
I have Red Zone on
yeah.
all day. They missed it.
Oh, no, I switched over. That's why I switched over
Red
to
Zone,
the game.
when you get through the afternoon games, when they get down to one game remaining, they have to cut away.
Yeah, I switched it to
and they say
CBS.
switch it to your local CBS or your local Fox affiliate, and then they play the montage of every touchdown from the day. I wasn't really paying that close of attention, so I just let the montage of touchdowns run when they said, we're going to let you switch to your local station to finish the end of the Commanders game. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like on Instagram, and it's like, Hail Mary winner. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Since we didn't have a do this, I got a quick one.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
How about the final call of that Hail Mary
please.
from the Commanders
I haven't heard this yet.
radio booth?
Steps up, fires, heads towards the end zone. It is
Chaos, man.
Might as well be in Korean for all we could understand what they were screaming.
Literal chaos.
And
right
just the
there.
added bonus that Dan Snyder had to sell the team this offseason.
Yeah.
Now they're finally playing
They're
well
playing so
without him.
good.
It's so beautiful. And that was a lot of don't and a little do this on a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We can get back to some more football talk at some point. There were some other big games yesterday. A lot of fantastic finishes in the NFL. But when we come back, Game 2 of the World Series on Saturday, the injury to Shohei Ohtani and what effect it may have on the series going forward. We'll talk about all of that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. explain bananas to Woods during the break.
Not bananas per se.
Because you're eating yours. Hey, Woods walks in and he's eating his banana, which he does a lot. And he goes, "This is the ripest banana I have ever eaten."
No.
He goes, "It's tasteless. It's hard. I love it." I think Woods, what you mean is you're eating an unripe banana.
I think that's true.
Now, I do not like overripe bananas that become mushy and brown. Those are disgusting. But a ripe banana should be somewhat soft and, flavorful like a banana. You're eating one that hasn't really fully ripened yet.
Which is my favorite kind. It has zero taste. It is as hard as a rock. And you just get the benefits of it. Because I don't particularly... If there's one brown spot on a banana, I'm like, I throw it away. So I've realized the older I get, this is more of an 8 o'clock segment, but if my fruit isn't rock hard, I don't want it. If the grape has any give whatsoever, I like my grapes.
But all the flavor comes after a few days. Once it starts, like a peach, you don't want it to be
as hard as a rock,
like apple,
like
texture.
a baseball. Yes,
it should be juicy, and the juices are dripping down your chin when you take a bite. That's That's the great fruitiness of it.
You bite into that peach, and it goes.
Yes.
It's all mushy.
That's
dude.
called
it's
right.
That's
right.
That's right.
It's furry.
That's how it's supposed
furry
to be.
and mushy. Disgusting.
Like a pear has to soften up a bit.
No,
you can't eat it.
The harder,
when it's
the better.
Like a rock.
Oh, like a Benny. I'm telling you.
As much as you love fruit, just imagine if you were eating ripe fruit.
I love
this
fruit.
whole time.
But I like the benefits.
Picture like
of
an
it.
avocado. You can't eat an avocado when it's first.
I don't eat them either. Either way,
it's like you buy it at the store. It's hard as a rock. You got to wait a few days.
No, I don't eat it.
And you've got that 5-minute window between when it's still not ripe and when it's gone way too far and turned mushy brown. When it's absolutely perfect.
When I bite into, like, if I eat watermelon or pineapple, it has to be firm. My grapes, I spend a fortune on our grapes. I go to the fancy Lazy Acres to get them. They are the size of a Callaway golf ball, and you could hit them off a tee, and they would go. I'm telling you.
More than one bite, you can
double
two bites of a grape,
like a little apple. The apples that I get, they have to be rock hard. No mushiness.
Apples
in my
should
I know
fruit.
you like them when
apples
they're
should not be
rock
mushy.
hard.
Rock hard.
No.
Rock hard, always better. Always.
Not always.
Always. And for me, the only way I can eat fruit is if it's just as firm.
You wanted to visit West Coast Men's Health before you ate it.
I want it. I want it
Okay.
firm and hard every time.
That's
This
not
guy,
right.
Chris says, I'm with Woods, and I'm a
It's
generational.
unripe.
He's a generational fruit farmer. I love fruit. God, I do. But it's got to be hard as a rock.
Just eat the pit then.
No, I don't like
That's
the pits.
really hard.
I don't like the pits. I just like it hard.
All right,
And firm.
Game 2 of the World Series on Saturday night came with a potentially pivotal moment in the 7th inning when Shohei Ohtani attempted to steal second. We will get into that right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
This traffic report is fueled by locally and veteran-owned Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Well, guys, we've got a few problems here. One of them is this crash on northbound side of the 5 right before Genesee. Looks like several vehicles involved all over the right shoulder. A couple of problems in the North County along the 78. Center City Parkway on-ramp to West 78 collision. Up ahead before Nordall Road, we have reports of another crash. Motorcycle involved in this one appears to be blocking the fast lane. Boo, San Diego, please have a listen to this bone-chilling deal. The 2024 Ford Escape ST could be yours for just $200 a month. Don't let this offer vanish before it's too late. Sedano Ford, local, veteran-owned, and terrifyingly good deals. For more details, visit SedanoFord.com. If you dare, I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, Game 2 not quite as thrilling as Game 1, but that was a pretty high bar as far as World Series excitement goes. Still not a bad game at all as the Dodgers and Yankees trade early home runs. Tommy Edman goes deep off Carlos Rodon in the bottom of the second. Juan Soto answers in the top of the third with a solo home run, but that was the only hit allowed by Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who really turned things around after his first performance against the Padres and has been every bit the $325 million pitcher now for the Dodgers this postseason.
He was outstanding. outstanding. And they again could not do anything off of him. Benny, 1 hit allowed. He went 6 1/3. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Was outstanding. And you look at that and you go, okay, because I'll be honest, man, watching him pitch this season, especially the Padres roughed him up. You're looking at that, and if you're a Dodger fan, I saw a lot of Dodger fans going, I cannot believe $325 million gets us this guy. And how he's pitched in the playoffs, that one start against us, notwithstanding, he looks like an ace, and he looks like a really, really confident pitcher, and you now get it. When he comes out, first pitch he throws is 98, and you're like, oh, man, all right, we're on tonight. And he just shut him down. He really did. And Rodon, I mean, look, 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, gave up the 3 home runs. The long ball is what got him, but the Yankees bullpen was outstanding that night. And the Dodgers bullpen is actually the one that blinked.
There really wasn't much going on in that game between the back-to-back homers by Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman in the bottom of the third, and then stayed all that way until the 9th inning when the Yankees did finally get the Dodgers bullpen to give a little bit of ground. As Blake Trinan is in there, it's his second inning of work, and he comes in and
he threw the night before too,
and he allows 4 of the first 5 New York Yankees to reach base,
and it's 4-1.
And they score on the
missile by Stanton,
the
missile that hit third base,
which makes it 4-2. And really, I thought the key though is they got all 4 of those batters on. The one who didn't, though, once again,
Aaron Judge,
was Aaron Judge, who struck out in the middle of that rally.
It's brutal.
You know, everyone else is hitting, and Aaron Judge continues to struggle. Now, 1 for 9 in the World Series, 6 for 40 in the postseason with 19 strikeouts. It's not impossible to win when your best player is slumping a bit.
Pretty close.
But it makes it really, really hard. And without Aaron Judge even being anything like MVP Aaron Judge, Yankees have been in a lot of trouble. And I thought it most showed up in that inning when everyone around him is hitting.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do his part in the 9th inning in Game 2.
Yeah, it's horrific to see. Judge is one of the more, I think, likable guys in Major League Baseball. Does it the right way, plays the game the right way, always says the right thing. You know, we talked to Jake Mintz on Friday about his serene, calm, doesn't slam his helmet, doesn't get worked up, and other guys feed off of that. But at some point, you have to come through. And I was texting our guest at 8:35, Skip Schumacher, about it this weekend. I said this, it has to be studied. I don't know what it is. I've done a little digging this weekend on his swing. I know he has his own swing coach. It looks like he's just getting exposed right now, Benny, and he is unable to make any sort of adjustment to anything down. I mean, Cameron Maben tweeted, Judge needs to look up in the zone and keep his focus up in the zone and spit on everything down. Obviously, it's easier said than done. He missed a hanger from Trinan the night before. He's missing pitches. The one that got me, man, that blew my hair back is he's grinding out an AB. It is 2-0. Yamamoto, it's him against Yamamoto. It is 2-0. He spit on 2 curveballs. Yamamoto pumps 95 right down Broadway. And what does he do? He spits on it. And that just tells me he's not in this, man. His head is, and I texted Skip and I said, this for him has to feel like he is in a raft going over the falls. And you're just looking down and you're like, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. He gets 2 strikes on him quicker than anybody I've ever seen. Swings at 2 spinners. And just is done.
Yeah,
he's done.
And while Ohtani hasn't been like full-fledged Ohtani locked in, he's had enough moments that have helped the Dodgers win games, and 100%. Judge just really hasn't.
He's not done.
That's
really
been
anything.
the difference. Stanton has done more than enough. He's been amazing. Soto has done enough and gotten the job done.
Jazz Chisholm's starting to step up a little
bit, right? It's Judge who really is coming up short for the Yankees in this postseason.
Well, they're as top of heavy as a lineup. And remember us in 23, if the top doesn't get it done, we are done for.
And that's what killed the Yankees, because they get to the bottom of the lineup and Trinan bounces back and strikes out Volpe with the bases loaded. And then they go to the bullpen, get the machinations. Alex Vesia comes out. Aaron Boone counters with Alex Trevino to pinch hit. I thought maybe he had gapped it when he made contact, but it kind of died out there. Caught in center field, and that's the end of the game as the Yankees leave the tying and go-ahead runs on base in the ninth inning to fall behind 2-0. A hole that is going to be, you got to beat the Dodgers 4 out of 5 now.
Yeah,
no
tough.
one ever wants to be in that situation. The one thing that they can look at and go, but what is the status of Shohei Ohtani after the seventh inning stolen base attempt, thrown out at second, and puts his left hand into the ground and injures his shoulder. Now, they call it a subluxation, a partial dislocation, something that
we know it very well here, don't we?
Fernando Tatis Jr. dealt with it for the entire 2021 season, was
Xander.
it? The subluxation, that he played through it, though. He was able to swing through it and be okay, but he certainly wasn't 100%. They say yesterday, Dave Roberts said he felt better, expects him to play, won't know for sure until today, but you can't really believe anything Dave Roberts says this postseason.
No.
He has been less than forthcoming. He has outright lied and deceived on a number of occasions. So would it shock anybody if Shohei was not in the lineup? Wouldn't shock me today if he was not in the lineup for Game 3 tonight. And if he is not there, it definitely changes the equation. I would still say the Dodgers are the favorites with a 2-0 lead. Even if you told me Shohei Ohtani is out for the rest of the playoffs, they're still the favorites to win, but it gives the Yankees at least that, crack in the door maybe to come back in the series.
Yeah, look, the required viewing for me, if I was Aaron Boone, I would have made everybody on the plane watch the new Netflix documentary of the comeback of when the Red Sox came back and beat the Yankees after being down 3-0. I would have said, you're watching this. Watch this. Do what they did. But, Ben, you don't have to win 4 or 5 against the Dodgers. You need to win tonight.
Win tonight.
You got to win tonight.
You have to win tonight.
That's it.
You don't want to go down 3-0. Walker Buehler against Clark Schmidt, 5:08 first pitch, and a virtual must-win for the New York Yankees in Game 3. All right, we'll come back. Skip Schumacher. We'll talk some baseball with us in our 8 o'clock hour. All coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Game 3 of the World Series will be tonight, 5:08. Back in the Bronx. We'll see if the Yankees can make this thing interesting. It's, I expected it to go 7 games, and now I'm looking at it going, ooh, man, I don't know. It'd be a miracle to go 7. I did lose my my $10,000. My $10,000
You had it going for one game.
One game. It was the Dodgers won that game, and I was like, oh well, it sucks.
Just to be clear, you didn't bet $10,000.
No, I bet 100 to win 10 grand. I needed Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees.
7-game parlay, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Pick the order in which it goes. And, so I'm out of that. But I'm excited for the game tonight. Love watching baseball. Love watching the World Series, even though, you got a lot of people don't have a rooting interest in it. The storylines have been pretty good. And now the storyline tonight will Shohei Ohtani play? And I don't know. I think he will. It sets up the really, they do want storylines. That's one thing. Oh man, Shohei with one arm comes back and plays, and Freddie with one foot comes back and plays, and that's just the way that the media works.
We were just talking during the break. You cannot really have more national storylines than this World Series.
Yeah.
Yankees, Dodgers, 2 biggest media markets, 2 biggest heritage franchises in baseball, 2 biggest stars in the game going up against each other. 2 terrific games to start the series. Now going back to New York, must-win game for the Yankees. Record ratings, best since 2017. And despite all that,
they're going to get smoked.
They will get their doors blown off by tonight's mediocre Monday Night Football game between the Steelers and the Giants, who you can listen to right here on 97.3 The Fan. The record, by the way, 14.55 million viewers for the World Series, averaging the first 2 games, best since 2017.
It's pretty good.
Monday Night Football, just the normal average game this year is averaging over 20 million. I would imagine the World Series will draw some of those away, but not 6 million away. The World Series will take a bit of a hit. So will the Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Football will win the ratings head-to-head matchup tonight, and that is, to me, that's just sad. That I know football is king, but I mean, isn't it more fun to watch a hugely important game between 2 rivals in any sport? I mean, if it was down to like a regular season baseball game and the Padres were playing the Giants, but there was a game 7 of the Stanley Cup, I'd at least want to flip on and see what was going on and check in and what's going on in that game. But no, the NFL remains king and will win the ratings head-to-head battle tonight.
No question. It is what it is. You just kind of grin and bear it if you're a baseball fan. But again, they're making plenty of money right now with Fox. The ratings are good, better than ever. So
I'm sure they're happy with what's happening.
It's like I don't compare what we do to what Howard Stern does. If I do, I'll go crazy. I will go crazy. Right? I mean, he's in a different class, and that's kind of where you have to kind of set your expectations at a certain level, and realize, well, there's more resources and there's more ears and all that. I can't go, why aren't we as good as Stern? Right? Because you never will be. It's just you take your piece of the pie and be happy with your piece of the pie. That's how
you don't think we're as good as he is. Obviously,
no, I know we're not.
He has a larger audience.
No, I know we're not as good.
Quality
on his worst day, Ben. You're not a better broadcaster than Howard Stern. All right, yeah, Howard works 2 days a week. I know it's true.
Is Ben the show's Robin? Keeps the show level.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Would that make you the Howard Stern of the show? Then
I agree. Yeah,
really,
I think that's right. He's Robin.
Who do you think makes more money, Howard or Robin?
Howard. Oh. Who do you think makes more money, me or you?
Who interrupts everybody?
Robin.
And who interrupts everybody on the show?
Robin. Yeah, that's very true.
I listen.
Who's Paul?
I listen to the Howard Stern show all the time. I'm Fred and Gary.
Baba Booey. Yeah.
I listen to the Stern show all the time, and ever since the pandemic, when they all moved to their home studios, and
it's awful.
They're on Zoom. It was not a good move for Robin Quivers, who I love.
I love her too.
She has gotten just owned by the lag on Zoom.
The lag gets her.
She interrupts. They cannot get a sentence through.
I remember how difficult that was when
lag,
we were on.
It was that. Okay, no, you go.
You were saying, Robin, you were saying. I know, Robin, no, you said, because I was right in the middle of a point. And you know what? Howard never gets mad at her. Never. And they've been doing this for 50 years or whatever. He never goes, Robin, I'm right in the middle of something here, like I do to you, right? He doesn't do that.
Well, how much
he's
has she
had two
probably
wives.
put
He's
up
had
with
one Robin
over the years? She's probably put up with a lot with him over the years.
Bro, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Come on. Adam is our Baba Booey. That's right.
He's
Adam.
pig vomit.
He's not that bad, Paulie. Good Lord. Hey, if you
had to pick a Howard Stern character.
If you could just say 97.3 and not 97.3. That's his number one pet peeve, by the way, when other, because we'll do news. I've done news hits or something and Woodsy from 97.3, The Fan. Adam loses his mind. He loses his mind. But there's a decimal right there. It's right there. So if you're reading it as is, it's 97.3.
Well, when you go to the dial, you find 97.3 on the dial.
Boy, he hates it.
But it's nonverbal when you say the name of the station.
Yeah.
97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, for sure. I got a DM. We have Skip Schumacher coming up in just a few minutes, 8:35. He's going to be joining the program. And I got a DM over the weekend that I had to share with you guys. It says, hey, you'll have to tell Skip that when he was coaching the Saddleback Cowboys, which was travel ball, all the moms on our teams used to call him, do you know what his nickname was?
With moms? No.
Sex on a stick. And I wrote back.
Not with a stick?
Sex on a stick. And I said, oh, really? He goes, yeah, the moms loved seeing the Saddleback Cowboys on the schedule. I bet they did. And I bet they came fully prepared and decked out and dressed. You know, I read it and I laughed because I love Skip, but I thought, no one has ever or will ever describe me as sex on a stick, including Mrs. Woods. The thought of that makes her disgusted. Sex on a stick. What a nickname. Would you want to have that level? Yeah.
Yes.
Who wouldn't? Come on. Who wouldn't want at least? I mean, you don't have to act. You don't have to, take advantage of it. But just to have that perception is obviously a positive. There's no drawbacks there, is there?
No.
There's no drawbacks.
It's kind of like I think about people with so much money, like so much money, and there are obvious benefits to that. You can do, you never really have to worry about stuff. But the day-to-day of having that much money, there's a lot of pressure that goes with it. I imagine. And I think there's a number. There's a number I wouldn't want to go higher than, right? I'm fine to just be comfortable. But when you get into the hundreds of millions of dollars range, the billions of dollars range, I don't know that I could handle it. Not because I would go crazy buying dumb stuff and doing dumb stuff, just because of the pressure. And I think with Skip, that you don't think there's any of that, like there's no downside to just being women just being ravenous over you all the time? None whatsoever?
Not if you have a measure of self-control. I don't think there's a downside.
So you would want that. You would want your nickname to be sex on a stick.
I would.
I'm going to tell you, it's never going to happen. Just so you know right now. Get it out of your head. It's not going to happen to any of us.
Come on. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm working on myself
here.
You have. Getting closer.
I took a picture of me and Hannah and Skip when we were at the playoff game. And you don't know what a turd you look like until you take a picture with both of them, to be honest with you. And I just cut myself out of the picture entirely because I said, I'm happy to send this to you, babe, but I don't need to be in it. You really feel poorly about yourself when you see yourself with them. It not only like, oh, he sure is handsome. No, you feel like you're the ugliest guy in the world when you take a picture next to him.
Well, this week is Halloween. You can be someone who you're not. So your costume, you can just carry a stick around and go.
Sex on a stick.
Sex on a stick. That's me.
I don't want to tell him about this nickname, but do you? Are you going to tell him?
I don't know.
No.
I'm curious whether he
already
knew.
knows.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
And what his reaction might be.
Huh.
Juan says skip is the second reason I started doubling my gym routine.
It's very difficult to stand next to him.
Speaking of the chat, I want to welcome back all the Dodgers fans who have
are they back?
Yeah, I saw them this morning. And it's fine. We love to have you. We talk more Dodgers baseball than anybody in Los Angeles does.
That's true.
So I understand why you're here. And I keep saw someone earlier who said, I'm just here to give Ben more grief for saying the Padres didn't choke.
They choked.
And I get it. You made the argument. I said 2-1, losing a 2-1 lead is not choking. But if you're saying the Padres choked the Dodgers, aren't you? Isn't it a bit of a cell phone? You're acknowledging the Padres are the better team, and they choked.
I don't even know that guy's a Dodger fan. I think he's a Padre fan.
Okay.
I think the people that are the most mad at you for saying the Padres didn't choke are Padres fans, not Dodger fans. I think
there's a lot of Dodgers fans that have been hating on Ben.
They have been.
Not for that. They not for like the Pods. The Pods they choked it away.
I mean, would you make the argument that if they choked it away, that they truly were the best team?
Yeah,
and the Dodgers shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah, and then it's tough too because you watch how the Dodgers have been playing baseball since that series and how they played and Paulie, Dodger Ben up there. It's you watch how they've been playing baseball and you go, how the hell did they lose a game? How did they lose a game this season? I mean, they just are as locked in as you can be at the right time of year. But no, I think that the people that are the most mad at you saying that the Padres didn't choke, when in fact I think it's you go 24 innings without scoring a run, you get 2 hits in the final game. That's a choke.
It's either way.
I love them, but it is what
definition.
it is.
It's going to sting the most if the Dodgers find a way to win 2 of the next 5 games, which is likely. What's going to sting the most is the fact that of all the seasons the Dodgers didn't win it, and they were stopped, but someone stopped them, and it was like they had their chances, someone stopped them. There was one team that could have stopped this
one,
and there's no one else to blame other than the Padres.
That's exactly
right. Whether you
man.
call it a choke or not, they were the team that were in position, had the best chance to do it, had 2 opportunities to do it. No one else has forced the Dodgers to an elimination game. I don't think anyone else is going to.
No.
The Padres had their 2 chances to keep the Dodgers without a full season title since 1988, to keep them wondering what's going wrong, to probably throw their organization into chaos. Dave Roberts probably out on the street maybe is looking for another job because the Dodgers had to do something. Their fan base up in arms. And it was the Padres that had the chance. It wasn't the Astros. It wasn't the Mets or any other team that really could have done it. It was the Padres who could have done it. They had their chances, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, correct.
That's what stings.
Well, listen.
And that's what hurts. It's going to hurt for a long time.
Correct.
No matter who wins the World Series, you're going to feel like,
it'll hurt
son
less
of a
if the
bitch,
Yankees,
that was our shot.
It will hurt a little less if the Yankees do come back and win.
That'll
But
hurt. My mentions will be a lot lighter if the Yankees do come back and win. But listen.
I'm still reeling from that NLDS loss, the choke that it was, so much that I couldn't give an F about the World Series. And it has nothing to do with the matchup. I don't care about the Yankees. Yes, I hate the Dodgers, and it's not I'm going to hate watch or anything. Like, if they would have blown a 2-1 series lead against the Mets, and the Mets went on to the World Series, I still wouldn't want to watch because I'm like, God dang it, that should have been us. Yeah. This was the best team. I know there's 2 teams that won pennants, but this is the best team, in my opinion, in franchise history. This is your best chance at your first World Series title, and they laid down for 2 games.
Yeah, they did. And 24 innings, everyone's still talking about it. But, hey, listen, at the end of the day, if the Dodgers win, the thing that's the worst about it for me is I have to change all my narratives. Okay, I have to go back into the lab in the off season, and I have to work on a whole new slew of narratives. And but they've earned it. They've earned it. They've earned everything that they got so far. So can they close? We'll see. That's been an issue for them in the past. Doesn't look like it's going to be this year. I mean, it just looks like they are the team. It looks like they're inevitable right now. So Yankees got to try to make a series out of it. You never know. You never know what can happen.
We'll talk to Skip Schumacher about the World Series, get his thoughts coming up at the bottom of the hour. By the way, just revealed the winner of baseball's Roberto Clemente Award. Manny Machado was the nominee for the San Diego Padres and considered one of the top candidates. We'll let you know who is going to be honored tonight as the Roberto Clemente Award winner. when we come back after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else. Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Manny Machado would have been a very worthy choice as the Roberto Clemente Award winner, but not this year for Manny. They have made the announcement, and it's going to be Kansas City Royals catcher Salvador Perez, who will be honored before Game 3 as the overall Roberto Clemente Award winner. Someone's going to win it. Don't have many bad thoughts about Sal Perez.
No, good pick. Good pick.
But congratulations. It's one of those, it's an honor to even be nominated.
Sure, absolutely.
And Manny has really done a ton for, just over the years. He has added to his community, give backs and responsibilities, and has become a truly important member of this San Diego community.
Big time.
And, it's something to be proud of. And that he's just being nominated for that award is terrific for Manny Machado.
Yeah, love it. Love it, love it. And Salvi, though, is a great ambassador, representative for that. Just a great dude all around. Not sure what his contributions are in the Kansas City area, but I imagine they're pretty great.
I would think so.
I loved, when we played our Tier 1 baseball this year, if we won, we donated $100 to the Peter Seidler Foundation, and there are only 2 Padres that match any donation they get, and it's Manny and you Darvish. So 2 of my favorite players, obviously, and 2 of the most charitable players that the Padres have right now.
That's why every dollar that's donated, it gets matched 4 times over for a total of like 5 times. So $100 becomes $500 when you donate to the Peter Seidler Legacy Fund.
All right, you tell me. So I donated $1,400. What is that?
That would be then, tough math, 40, 56, so $7,200.
Look at that, $7,200.
Yeah, you're responsible for that.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, you.
Yeah.
You. Not you, because you actually didn't contribute anything. just Manny and me and you.
Fine. Well,
not you.
It's really the Tier 1s who have been, winning and making sure of those contributions. So thank them. Thank your players.
I do. I love my players.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that strokes the check.
Right. But only because you win. You don't do it when they lose.
Correct.
So if they had lost every game, you wouldn't have given $1.
That's exactly right.
It's not very generous of you.
Manny and you would not have matched it.
All right. You were busy on Saturday. I know you had coaching.
Soccer, yeah. Ooh,
soccer.
wow.
So you did you get to watch any college football?
No, I did not.
Your Notre Dame Fighting Irish with a 51-14 win over Navy.
Lost money on that.
They have moved back into the top 10, not only on the strength of that win, but their big win earlier this season over Texas A&M continues to look better and better after the Aggies had a big win over LSU, 38-23. They're now the only undefeated SEC team in conference play after that win against LSU. Oregon continues to roll. I mean, they were taking on a top 20 team, and they made Illinois a pretty decent team look bad. Maybe the Ducks, the team to beat in college football right now, with Dylan Gabriel as one of the favorites to win the Heisman Trophy at quarterback, had 3 more touchdowns. Penn State remained undefeated with a win over Wisconsin. Ohio State had a scare. They already have 1 loss and barely beat Nebraska 21-17. Texas nearly was the second upset victim of Vanderbilt.
Vandy is. We said it weeks ago. This is not your dad's Vanderbilt team, dude.
No, they're a good baseball school. Never been known for their football, especially in the SEC. But the win over Alabama and then just a narrow 3-point loss to Texas. Miami Hurricanes still unbeaten. They took care of Florida State. Not that Florida State's very good this year, but got that win as well. BYU's undefeated still, and the Indiana Hoosiers still looking somewhat like the real deal.
This is incredible.
As they improved to 8-0 with a win over Washington. And then Alabama beat Missouri 34-0. So the Tide can still be dangerous even with their 2 losses. But it was a pretty decent day in college football.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I was obviously very happy with that dub. Happy to lose money on that. I can't believe the Irish put up 51 points on them. I just cannot believe it. They have played them so tough, and they're such a weird They were really, really well prepared.
It's the benefit of the new college football playoff system that even a team that lost to Northern Illinois
still has a shot.
Pretty much controls their own destiny now when it comes to getting into the 12-team playoff.
Yep.
Notre Dame, because they don't have a conference, are never eligible for one of the top 4 seeds in the byes.
Yep.
The best they can possibly even be is a 5 seed. And right now is the number, I think, 8 ranked team in the country in the new AP poll. Pretty good shape going forward. I mean, the rest of their schedule, I know they have Army, who's still kind of dangerous, but the way they took care of Navy makes me think they'll probably do the same thing there. So I would think Notre Dame now has a really good opportunity to get into that first 12-team playoff at the end of the year.
Yeah, the obviously the big trap game is USC at the end of the year. You know, USC really a wounded animal right now, and you never want to play them when they're that way. You know, you just don't, with the chance to kind of spoil your season. So obviously that's on the radar.
Boise State beat UNLV on Friday night. They are in the running for the playoff in the non-Power 4 division. They will take on the Aztecs this Friday night at the Blue Turf in Boise.
It's hard to watch, man.
You know, I'd imagine, I haven't seen the early line. I'd imagine that Boise's probably a close to 3 touchdown favorite. But, you know, they beat Washington State, and the Aztecs gave Washington State a game. So, you know, they're playing a little bit better. Going to be a tough one, I think, for San Diego State. Both teams are undefeated in the conference. Technically, San Diego State's still 2-0 in the Mountain West and tied for first place. So it is a big game this week.
Feels weird, right?
It does feel weird, yeah. It doesn't feel like they should be, but this will be a first place showdown because UNLV lost. So it's Boise State, San Diego State for first place in the Mountain West on Friday. Usually when you have those showdowns, you don't have a team that's favored by 20 or whatever it's going to be. And I need to look at the number to get the official, but it's going to be pretty big. I mean, you know, Boise State seems like a real deal team. We'll see if San Diego State can carry the good stuff from the game against Washington State, eliminate some of the bad stuff, and at least give the Broncos a game this Friday night.
Tough watch to watch games on that field. It's a hard watch on television. You agree?
The blue or
the blue?
The blue?
Yeah. It's a hard watch for me. There's something about it that doesn't jive with my eyes, and I don't like watching games there. You guys, same? Feel different?
Never liked watching that field.
No, it's awful.
I mean, you know instantly who it is.
Of
and
course,
who's playing.
yes, very obviously, very recognizable, no question. But when you put it on the television, it is not appealing. It is not appealing at all, not even a little.
Is it better than with the turf at Snapdragon Stadium right now? I'm not sure.
From the pictures I saw, I don't know.
Let's put some blue carpet down there in Mission Valley. See if
burns my retinas every time I watch it. I just can't
fix
do it.
that. All right, we've got Skip Schumacher standing by, the former manager of the Miami Marlins.
Former manager of the year.
Former, will always be a manager of the year in Major League Baseball, and certainly a hot candidate for some of the open jobs. Will give us his analysis of the first couple of games of the World Series. Sex on a Stick joins us next on 97.3 The Fan. Got Skip Schumacher standing by. And just to be clear, we're going to, in this conversation, stick mostly to the baseball playoffs and let him handle his own business and how that plays out in the offseason. So, but we do have Skip ready. We're going to talk some baseball World Series with him right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, guys, we had some scattered showers around the county, and now all these accidents. So not sure if there is a correlation, but definitely a good idea for folks to give themselves extra time and take it extra carefully, especially on those transition ramps. Traveling on westbound 8, right around El Cajon Boulevard, there is a collision involving several vehicles. It's got the slow lane blocked. Northbound side of the 15 before Friars Road, collision involving car and a motorcycle. It's in the center divide. Still clearing an accident on northbound 5 before Genesee. Tow truck is on scene. Everything is mostly over to the right shoulder. Eastbound 78 near Twin Oaks Valley Road. Collision involving a couple vehicles. Still clearing an accident on the Center City Parkway on-ramp to West 78. And another crash clearing just before Nordall Road. Trying to get that out of the fast lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And it is a pleasure to once again welcome the 2023 National League Manager of the Year back to Ben and Woods this morning. Good morning to you, Skip Schumacher.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Just got off the phone with a couple of my boys in San Diego, Riley Westman, ex-Nady, and Sweeney. Sweeney, happy birthday, belated happy birthday. So life is good.
Good, man. Mark or Mike? Mark. Okay, nice. Old Sweeney.
Both are kind of San Diegan, so we always have to ask.
Well, the funniest thing ever is I knew Mike Sweeney a little bit, and I texted him about a month ago, Skip, and I said, hey, bro, are you still in town? Would love to have you come in and talk some baseball with us. He goes, brother, I'm so sorry. I'm not in town anymore. I live in San Diego now. And I go, I go, yeah, man, Ben and Woods, we were here in San Diego. So I never heard back from him after that. So I'm like, I'll just let it lie, dude. It was absolutely priceless.
He's a beauty. They're great people.
Great people, man. Well, listen, I know you're watching the games. I love getting the manager's perspective on things like this because, as you know, we are all armchair managers. Everybody listening is an armchair manager. Everybody watching is an armchair manager. And with the benefit of hindsight, probably not going to nasty Nestor Cortez there. That decision hopefully doesn't haunt Aaron Boone for the rest of his life. What was your kind of read on it in the moment?
You know, I was back and forth on it. Honestly, I thought that, these decisions are made, before the game, obviously, walking through different situations, kind of what if this situation happens. And obviously, Nestor Cortez has been really good against lefties. Tim Hill against certain lefties hasn't been real great. So I totally understand why he went with who he went with, because Nestor has been good. He hasn't pitched in a month. I totally get it. However, Nestor Cortez has been very good for the Yankees for a long time. The other part of this thing, this is the tough part against the Dodgers. You have to face 3 MVPs in a row.
Yeah.
And it was a really tough lane for anybody. He got Shohei out, walked Betts, and then you have Freeman against Hill or Cortez, and he maybe made the wrong pitch. I don't know, obviously, but that's the fun part of this game. It's just you get the second guess from our seat, and that's what you get paid for in the manager's seat, is you get to have to answer the tough questions at the end of the day. But Nestor made a really good pitch against Ohtani. Unfortunately, he didn't against Freeman, and Freeman has been hurt all postseason. Comes up with a huge hit to win the game.
Yeah, ultimately, those were the only 2 pitches he actually threw
Crazy.
in the game, which makes it so hard to totally evaluate his performance. I mean, most guys get evaluated on beyond just 2 pitches. Skip, I want to ask you about Aaron Judge, though, and not particularly like what you see, that may be off for Aaron Judge, but you've managed and coached a lot of great players. When you have a bona fide superstar, one of the best players in the game, who is struggling as a manager or a coach, how do you handle that? Knowing, this guy's got to be in the lineup. This guy is critical to our success, but just like every baseball player, sometimes you get in a slump. Can coaches and managers get guys out of slumps, or is it really up to the guy to figure it out generally?
Yeah, I think there is some things that obviously the coaches can help with. I remember Mookie Betts hit against you guys, that series, 500 extra swings or whatever he said to do before the series started to get back into or get out of the funk that he was in. I feel like it's the same thing with Judge. This guy is obviously an MVP superstar in a funk at the wrong time, but I'm not betting against Aaron Judge. I'm just not. He's also facing one of the better staffs in the league, if not the best bullpen besides the Padres in the league. So I do feel like there is some stuff that is obviously happening to Judge, maybe a little bit mechanically, but I think right now it's just mental. And if I don't know Judge, I'm not gonna act like I do, but I do feel like he's about to break out, and hopefully he does, just to make this series fun. Break out tonight.
Well, yeah, and we're talking to Skip Schumacher here on Ben and Woods this morning. You saw what happened to Mookie. He had 2 postseasons in a row where he really did nothing and came out, whatever it was. And it's funny, man, because he did. He said, I took 400 extra swings today. And people are like, bro, David Ortiz was the one that, grabbed him and was like, dude, just go have fun. Go have fun. You're a great player. You're a great player. Go have fun. I bet that stuff goes a long way, Skip. And as you watch this series kind of unfold, and you think about where Judge is hitting in the lineup, we just talked about they put on that late rally the other night, and Judge is the one in the middle of the lineup that can't keep the rally going. They could have won that game as well. And we had these questions of Mike Schilt as well. Do you consider moving some stuff around in the next couple of games, moving him around? We saw Alex Rodriguez hit 8th in 2009, which is shocking. I'm not saying anything that dramatic, but we had the same questions. Hey, maybe Profar down in the order or top of the order, just to move some things around.
Yeah, I think you do that during the regular season, and I think you can do that with certain guys that are not role players, but, other non-superstar players. I think you stick with Judge in the middle of the order. There's just no way I'm not having him get the most at-bats in this series. And if I don't win because Aaron Judge doesn't hit, I don't win because Aaron Judge doesn't hit. I'm not going to move him in the 8th hole and have someone else in the 3 hole in a big situation. And kind of what if Judge gets hot now? Because it literally takes one swing, one pitch, as you guys know. And then all of a sudden this guy catches fire again. Aaron Judge against us during the season, I think he got 1 hit, and then the next series just went off for literally the remainder of the year. And I think it just takes that one type of swing, and then all of a sudden you got it. You know this as a player, that once you feel right again on that one swing, it's like heads up. And I think you would kick yourself if you felt it, that one swing in the 7 hole, and then all of a sudden he doesn't get the extra bat later in the game.
What about moving him the way that they're pitching him? And I know that you're watching how they're pitching him. Would there ever be a consideration of moving him up leading him off.
Have Soto protecting him instead of in front of him.
Yeah, something to that nature. Because
he's already got Stanton protecting him.
That's true, but
insanely hot.
But Stanton. It was Jazz protecting him for a game. It was Wells protecting him from a game. Only now it's Stanton. So I don't know, man. What about moving him up in the order?
Yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to moving a guy like that up, but just not down.
Yeah.
So I just feel like these guys need to get the most at-bats during the game, the Sotos, the Judges, and the Stantons. And so if it means moving up and protecting him someone else and getting the extra at-bat, that's fine. I'm just not a fan of moving your best player in the World Series off of that spot or down if you do move him because, again, you're going to live and die with who got you there. And Aaron Judge is one of the main reasons why they're there.
Talking to a former and, let's be honest, future Major League manager as well, Skip Schumacher. I don't know when it'll happen, but it's going to happen again if Skip wants it to. And Skip, you had a good Major League career as well. You played baseball, obviously, growing up, as every big leaguer does. Can you at all put yourself in Freddie Freeman's shoes, though? A moment like that so few, even at the top of the game, will ever get to experience. What were you kind of thinking in that moment as he did something that every kid who plays baseball in their life dreams of doing?
Yeah, I was watching it with my family, with my son, and when that happened, we were all jumping up and down, and I don't have any skin in the game. I was just so excited for the moment. And, Brody and I, my son, were high-fiving each other. My father-in-law was there. We were high-fiving, and I'm not rooting for any team. I just couldn't believe what just happened, just a moment, because I was 8 years old when Kirk Gibson hit the home run living in L.A. So it was a memory that I still, hold kind of dear to my heart of being in L.A. and to see it happen again. But what brought me to tears, honestly, was the post-game interview.
Yeah, killed me.
That moment with his dad is what you tell. My dad passed away in spring training, and I hit with my dad every off season. And it wasn't because of he was giving me any lessons. It was for the bonding. I just couldn't wait to just hang out with him. We hit in the cage. If I was bad, I was bad. If I was good, whatever. But we just had lunch after. And that's what I do with my son now because of what my dad did for me. So to watch him do that with his dad in the front seat, and giving credit to his dad for the biggest moment of his career, I don't know how you weren't emotional about it.
I absolutely was, and watched it with my son as well. And I just wondered, could maybe you be my dad? Because my dad's in Texas, and then me and you can just go hit, and then we can just go have lunch together after. And I'll be like an older version.
Hey, Dad, you want to have a
catch? Dude, it's fun.
Recreate the moment.
Well, it's so funny, Skip, because they talked to Freddie's dad, and he goes, I was literally so nervous. I wanted them not to walk Mookie so Mookie could get a hit. So it's Freddie. I'm like, your son is an MVP. He's won a World Series. He's an elite player. And there's that dad still sitting there about to throw up in his hands, hoping that it's not his kid up there. And, you're home. You get to see your son play a little bit now. It's excruciating watching your kids play. I had to do it yesterday. It's excruciating.
It really is. You'd much rather play than watch your kids play, and because of the nervousness. I really enjoy going to my kids' games, don't get me wrong, but you're right. The big moment for them, the big at-bat, the big soccer game, whatever it is, I am way more nervous watching them play than I ever was taking any at-bat. It's so funny how that works.
Skip, I want to ask you about Luis Ariz. When the Padres acquired him, I know you texted Mike Schild. He talked about it, the scouting report, what a great teammate he was, what a great talent he was, and we definitely got to see that this season. But there remains the question around baseball as to what is the value of a Luis Ariz when sometimes the metrics just say, hey, WAR he's really not that productive of a player when all he does is essentially get singles and doesn't walk a lot, doesn't have a lot of power. Padres are probably deciding on a potential contract extension. How do you kind of view that, the value that Luis Ariz brings to a baseball team?
As someone who managed him, yeah.
Yeah, it's so challenging because I will tell you that most analytic departments hate the profile. It's just what it is. And if you are his teammate or a coach on his staff, you absolutely love the profile because he is a winner, something you can't quantify, a difference maker inside the clubhouse, which you can't quantify. He makes everybody better with how hard he works inside the cage and in the weight room and in the training room, which you can't quantify. And, he moves around the diamond a little bit, not a great runner. So it's tough to, really put value on, today's market on how they, rate guys or, however you want to say it, WAR, all these other metrics. This guy is a winning player, and there's nobody you want up to bat in a big spot than Arias. You saw him with a banged up thumb.
Yeah.
That he still won the batting title. So this guy is elite winner and a clubhouse influencer. And I think there's deflators and there's inflators. And, man, this guy is an inflator, and I'm a huge fan of his. And I think any manager would take him on their team any day of the week. But it's just it's a different type of game right now, and the analytics will tell you differently.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. If you do get another managing, shot to manage, I mean, who knows where Luis Arias will be? But I have to imagine, based on the way you've talked about him to me, he's a guy that you would, if they said Skip, who would you want to bring in? He would probably be one of those names.
1,000%. And I think Mike Schilt would tell you the same thing. I mean, the guy DH, the guy played second, the guy played first, and he was hurt the whole year. So I think or at least the second half being in San Diego, and he still performed. So like I said, he's a winning player, and I don't know one manager that would be like, oh man, I can't wait till Arias is up with the guys on second and third with one out. Like
right.
There's just no way that you want to see this guy up.
It's fascinating. And last one for us, Skip, Jackson Merrill. I know he's probably another one of your favorite ball players to watch. You also, I'm assuming you guys faced Paul Skeens at some point this year. Rookie of the year, you were a guy that you didn't pitch every 5 days, but kind of where do you stand on Rookie of the Year? And remember, you're on the San Diego Padres flagship radio station, just so you know.
Well, even if I wasn't on the Padres radio station and your station, your show, I should say, it's Jackson Merrill for me. The guy made a position change to center field, and not only was he a rookie, he's one of the main reasons you got to the postseason.
Yep.
He is an electric player. He's fun to watch. He hits righties. He hits lefties. He walked us off in a huge moment, or not walked us off, but hit the game-winning home run when we were at Lone Depot, Miami, against back-end bullpen guys. He got better against leverage situations. The guy's a superstar, and I think he can play shortstop still, but I also think he can win a Gold Glove in the outfield. I loved Paul Skeens. I think he's great for the game. I think he's great for the city of Pittsburgh. I'm taking Jackson Merrill, though.
My man.
Got a lot of drops of people saying, I love Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I love Paul Skeens, too.
He's
a lot of fun.
Paul Skeens. We all think Jackson Merrill should be the Rookie of the Year. Well, Skip, really appreciate it. You're not going to bring up the Saddleback mom's nickname for him at all.
Did you want to hear this? All right. So I got a DM from a guy.
I mean, you got to tell him now.
I got to tell him now because Ben really wants this out there. I got a DM from a guy this weekend. He said, hey, you got to tell Skip when you have him on tomorrow that when he was coaching the Saddleback Cowboys travel ball, all the moms on the other teams used to call your nickname, by the way, amongst the moms was Sex on a Stick. So there you go.
Come on.
I swear to God, dude. I don't know this person. I have no reason to lie. It's right here in my DM. I swear to God.
So it's not only Woods who obsesses over you, Skip.
It's the moms.
That's unbelievable. What a way to end.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't wait to pick my kids up from school today. It's going to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Skip, best of luck to you. We'll keep tabs on where you land this offseason or don't, but either way, you're always welcome on this show.
All right, we'll see you soon for BP, too. Would love to get together for that. Thanks,
all right,
brother.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Appreciate it.
Skip Schumacher.
That's got to make you feel pretty good. Hey, Woodsy, your nickname amongst the moms is Turd. Wide load.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. Oh, kick ass.
Meanwhile, there's Sex on a Stick.
Yeah, he's the best. He's so surprised. Oh, what,
he
me?
did act surprised.
Me? No way. There's no way. That could
Bridal
never
report
be.
coming up next. All right, one way or another, World Series will be over. Baseball season will be over by this time next week.
Ooh, tough to stomach.
And a couple days after that, free agency will begin. This week, I would like to turn some of our attention toward, potential targets for the Padres this offseason. Jim Bowden from The Athletic came out with his top 45 free agents around baseball, including guys he thought teams would be targeting. The Padres name does come up a few times, mostly with some pitchers, but definitely something we can chat about this week as we go forward and get ready for the offseason, which truly will be underway 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Could be underway as soon as tomorrow night.
It's hard to
Which is kind of crazy.
It's hard to believe.
But if the Dodgers win the next two, it's over, and the offseason begins Wednesday morning officially.
Woo! Man. Busy week here on Ben and Woods. We got a Halloween show on Thursday. We'll have a birthday celebration on Friday.
Seems like this was always my problem when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My birthday and Halloween were too close together.
Okay, so I get it from the perspective of if you have one close to Christmas.
My brother-in-law, December 26th.
That's
not
the
a good
biggest
birthday.
drag of
Yeah.
all time. That's such a drag.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, by the way,
Afterthought.
happy birthday. It's not even about the gifts and stuff. It's more about that your parents are like, oh my God, we just put the tree away. We just cleaned all this crap up, and now we got to drag a cake out.
You're the only one who puts the tree away on December 25th.
You're never able to have
Mrs. Woods
a
does.
birthday party on your birthday.
Yeah, never. No one wants to do it.
You're not having a bunch of kids over.
No,
or anything
everyone's
like
with their
that.
families and stuff.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. But why Halloween?
It's not. It wasn't a why. It just felt like everything about that season was, it was focused in on Halloween, as it should be. That's what everyone was thinking about. So, just my birthday was
An afterthought.
A little bit.
Well, it was such an afterthought last year that Paul and I actually forgot it.
Until after.
We halfway through the show, you went to break, and you said, I need to bring something up next. I'll never forget it. We need to pull the audio.
That hasn't been mentioned.
And I actually feel a little awkward about it. And for the life of me, I had no idea what the hell.
Now that
he was
was
talking
last
about.
year. It was my actual birthday.
It was on your birthday.
This year, my birthday falls on a weekend,
Correct.
so we won't be celebrating on the actual day. In fact, you can make the argument Monday is closer to my birthday than Friday.
It is, but we're going to do it on Friday.
Okay.
Because Friday is the loose, fun, and expect some.
Fair enough.
Expect some.
I also agree that once your birthday is over, it's kind of over.
To go back and do it. Yeah. Expect some fun. Some fun on Friday. Be ready.
After fun on Thursday, on Halloween.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
have
still
fun
don't
on
know what
Thursday.
my costume is going to be.
Which is always a fun thing when you have no idea what you're dressing as, but you know that you will be dressed up.
Is there anything I need, like base colors to wear underneath or anything?
No.
Sometimes that's important with costumes. Sometimes it's not.
Wear jeans.
Jeans.
Wear jeans that day.
Jeans, okay.
Yeah, wear jeans.
I rarely wear jeans in the morning, but I do own jeans.
Your birthday is actually on the 3rd, which is on Sunday.
Correct.
Somebody was asking in the chat. I had to look at my calendar because I do forget it, as you know.
Apparently.
As you know. But we'll be celebrating on Friday. Friday the
Found
1st.
you want to? Let's just we'll
let's just
play the whole thing maybe on Friday.
Yeah.
This
Let's
is
wait
how
till
we
Friday.
went to
This is how the
commercial break on in the 8:00 hour last year,
November
November
3rd.
3rd.
It was really good. Really, really good.
I have a dilemma,
Okay.
Okay.
and I don't know how to handle it. Because I don't want to come off seeming
Viagra.
like a jerk.
No,
that's not a
acoustic wave
dilemma.
therapy.
That's more
Viagra,
of a,
actually, Paulie,
that's a condition.
After a while,
Yeah, it stops working.
Stops
I
working.
know. I've heard what say
You
that.
need the blood to push through.
West Coast Men's Health.
Because I feel like I'm gonna look bad here when we come back.
Oh,
Let's
God.
break a little bit early.
I don't
But
know what this is, and I'm sick to my
I feel like
stomach.
you two are also going to look bad.
Oh, good.
And we're all going to look
Appreciate
bad
that.
when I bring up what I'm going to bring up in
I don't
just a
like-
second.
Why don't you just go home for
I
the
don't
day?
like when he springs things on us. I
This is how
don't.
he feels every day.
Oh, no.
Well, I've been waiting for
Yeah.
something for 2 hours and 12 minutes, and it hasn't happened yet.
NFL talk?
We'll come back next. Ben and Woods.
NFL talk?
Check the traffic. Be right back here on 97.3 The Fan.
And then we went to commercial break, and then Ben had a live read, a commercial there, and that's when it clicked. And I go,
He called me
I like
over.
waved Woods
Yeah,
over. I'm like,
in the
get over,
middle.
get over here. I'm like, is it his effing birthday today? And we
I
just
go, oh no. It was. It is, and it was. There it was. Glory
Birthday hole.
Birthday
There it was. Glory hole.
Yeah, lack of glory that day.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this year. Put that in the notes.
It's not my costume.
There it was.
No, it's
Glory hole.
No, but we could maybe arrange that on Friday if Adam would let us. I don't know how he feels about that.
I don't know.
We can check it out.
All right. Well, we have some fun to look forward to at the end of this week, apparently.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
Right now, though, Paulie, if you would.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
There's the glory hole.
There it is.
Oh, all right. Good morning, Woods and Ben's glory hole.
Good morning.
Let's see. I got 2 stories here from the world of sports, and the first one is
Put it down.
definitely for Ben. Put that away.
Put it away.
Put your glory hole away. First story is for Ben. Now, to start our 8 o'clock hour, just an hour ago, we were talking about Monday Night Football versus Game 3 of the World Series and the TV ratings, how your average run-of-the-mill Monday Night Football game will torch just about any baseball game, even if it's a dramatic, storybook-filled,
I mean, if it went to
World
a game
Series
7 and it was on Monday, would Game 7? No, Game 7 wouldn't even be on Monday. It would be on
it would still
Saturday.
lose to
Yeah,
Giants
still.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Did you realize tonight is the rare sports equinox?
Ah, that's right. Woodsy, what does that mean?
No idea. I feel like you guys explain this to me every year, and I always
Well, it
forget.
doesn't happen every year.
Because it doesn't.
It's happened more recently, though, with regularity because of the earlier NBA and the later baseball. And
There's only
everything,
been 31 times in history that this has happened.
All 4 major sports playing on the same day.
Yes.
There you go.
And it's the only one that will happen this year. And it's even whatever's a bonus equinox because, yes, you will have Monday Night Football. You will have Game 3 of the World Series. You will have 11 NBA games tonight, and you will have 8 regular season NHL games.
Nice.
You also get 2 MLS playoff games.
Wow.
So
Okay.
all 5 major sports.
Yeah, the Big 5, as they call it.
Just no college football tonight.
Yeah, no college
pretty
football
much.
tonight.
That's the only sport that's not going.
That's
But,
amazing.
yeah, only 31 times this has ever happened.
Boy, I'm going to be flipping like crazy tonight.
Keeping tabs
No,
on
I won't.
You need me to come install a couple new
Red
TVs
Wings,
for you?
Carolina Hurricanes matchup.
I like
or-
the Red Wings tonight.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that one, Benny. Okay.
It's like scoregami. He gets very
I do,
excited about.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, he loves
I'm always
scoregami.
Yeah, he
Is it-
skips into the studio.
Is it worrisome that I worry they're going to run out of scoregamis? Like every score is going to be done at some point, and then I won't have ever a
no-
scoregami to look forward
like
to.
when Bo is your age, is scoregami over?
I mean, it's going to come down to 8-4 in an NFL game
Right.
or something.
4
It's
safeties
gonna,
or
You're
something,
going to have to
yeah.
have a lot of safeties to get new scoregamis.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
All right, we're going to switch over to some NFL here. We've got some post-game audio from Trayvon Diggs. It's
pretty great.
Member of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm trying to figure out, there is a sports anchor named Mike Leslie in the Dallas area, WFAA. I don't know which affiliate that is out there in Dallas, but he's the Ben of Dallas. He's a sports television anchor, reporter, and he posted on X a highlight from the game against the 49ers. And he said what is Trayvon Diggs doing on this play?
Yeah.
And the play shows Diggs, I don't know, half-assing it, running it like 50%. And he was confronted, the reporter was confronted by Trayvon Diggs.
So, Paulie, that
after the game.
Was that clip was a clip from the current game that he just played in, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he posts a video and said, what is he doing on this play here?
Getting burned by George Kittle, I think it was. And he just says, what is Trayvon Diggs doing on this play? And Trayvon Diggs somebody must have shown that to him because he's still in full pads.
Full gear, yeah.
there's the tunnel underneath the stadium
Sure.
that all the reporters will wait in before the big swinging doors open up to the locker room, and then the reporters can all come in and ask their questions. They're all still corralled in the tunnel, and Trayvon Diggs comes out in full pads, and somebody else nearby starts filming this interaction between Mike Leslie, the sports reporter, and Trayvon Diggs. And here's how it sounded.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took from that? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing with me, bro.
Just asking the question, Trayvon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took for that? That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking. We can talk about it more. What were you doing there?
Talk about what?
Did you hear that?
I did.
We can talk about it.
That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking. We can talk about it more. What were you doing?
He said, we can talk about it more. And as Trayvon Diggs is walking back into the Cowboys locker room, he says, talk about these nuts.
These nuts. Got him.
I'm watching the play. He's literally Cadillacing.
Most people agreed. Not just this one TV reporter, but most people agreed. Now, Cadillacing on a play is going to happen with a lot of guys all the time. And you can't, but you're just asking a question. What bothered me about that is when an athlete goes, well, you can't do it, so you can't ask me about it. I know I can't do it. I know, but my job is still to ask you questions about you doing it. It's actually my job in the media to ask you questions about what you're doing. And because I can't do what you're doing, doesn't mean that I can't ask you a question about it. If that was true, no one could ever ask Michael Jordan a question about anything ever, even his fellow players who couldn't do what he did.
It does.
Literally no one would be eligible to ask Michael Jordan a question.
It would get annoying. I can't deny that it would get annoying. It would. It'd be annoying to be a big league manager, right? Yeah. The most annoying. It'd be annoying to be a cornerback that kind of he took a different route to the play. Thought his fellow defender had Kittle under wraps. Kind of was late to the play, but I looked at that play, Ben. You know what I do? I do realize, yes, Mike Leslie was doing his job, but out of everything that happened, it wasn't a play that was so egregious that warranted maybe a tweet about it.
But the right way to handle that, if the player, either you go, yeah, maybe not my finest moment. I actually got confused on this, or something happened, and I'll try to be better going forward. Whatever, you can own it without making yourself look like a fool. But I don't like going, hey, you can't do that, so you have no qualifications to ask me the question about what happened on that play.
Yeah, because if that's the case, we all need to pack it up and go home. Right now, that we have no business being here, which a lot of people think.
Those are the qualifications to talk about the sport.
Absolutely right.
I mean, I can't hit a 101 mile an hour fastball.
I can't throw 75. I mean, what are we talking about here? Yeah, it's tough. Tough look. I do like the. Let's talk about these nuts, though. Always down for that. Let me get to me one more time.
We can talk about it more. What were you doing?
Talk about these nuts. It's funny.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I would laugh if somebody said it to me. If I went up to
some clever repartee.
Yeah, if I went up to Crony and was like, "What the hell happened there on that ground ball?" He's like,
these nuts?
What do you can't field a ground ball either. You're like, well, can we talk about it? Well, talk about these nuts. I would pee my pants from laughing, dude. It'd be the greatest thing of all time.
All right.
Dallas, though, but think about what's been going on in Dallas. I mean, losing breeds contempt. And there's a lot of contempt from the fans, the media, Jerry Jones going on. And
the final score last night was not indicative of the game. The 49ers, who have not been good at all, still dominated the Cowboys, who were coming off a bye and a huge loss to the Lions. I mean, they are a problematic organization right now.
No question.
Did you see what happened to Jerry's, was it his daughter and son-in-law or something? They were pulling into Levi State. I guess Jerry was in the car, and then the second car they were following in, but those barriers that come up out of the ground came up on them, tipped over their car, and they were both injured. They had to be treated. They did end up going to the game, but Yeah, kind of a scary moment for the Jones family.
Here's an interesting topic we should couch, but it came in the chat. Hans says athletes are so soft in social media age, and I think that's an interesting topic to discuss because I certainly realize that it's different now. Back in the day, per se, they actually could live their lives a little bit easier and more free than they are able to now. Does that make them soft? Or, I don't know. I mean, some guys handle it obviously better than others.
Some are.
Some aren't. Yeah, it's a good point.
To each his own social media skills.
Sure.
Some do it quite well. And others, it can be problematic at times.
No doubt.
Think of like Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
KD. Got too rabbit ears for some of the stuff that goes toward him that he should just be ignoring, I think, on social media. But sometimes it's hard for people to ignore things.
You want everybody to like you.
All right, and finally,
I don't care anymore.
Wrap it up quickly here. It's happening again, guys.
What
in
is
Hollywood? Another movie that doesn't need to be remade is getting a sequel.
Wait,
not a remake.
Sorry, not a remake,
but a sequel.
A sequel. All right, a sequel is different to me than a remake.
It's in the same neighborhood, though.
It's in the same neighborhood.
When it's been 25 years. We're just reaching. We have no more original ideas. I'm talking, of course.
It was a pretty mid movie to begin with.
See, and I was questioning about whether or not to even bring it up, but once you guys, at least Wood, said that he had watched it, I was like, all right, we can talk about it. We're talking about Blue Streak, the movie with Martin Lawrence from 1999, Luke Wilson, Dave Chappelle. I watched it again last night after I saw this story. It's a very funny movie.
Did you laugh? Yes.
Oh,
you had to explain the plot to me, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah,
For people
Martin
who haven't
Lawrence
seen the movie, explain the plot.
He's a jewel thief. He steals a jewel, and he's running from the cops after he steals the jewel, and he hides it in a ventilation, the air ducts of a building that was going up still. It was still being built. He gets caught. He tapes it up inside the air duct. He gets caught. He goes to prison for, I don't know, call it 5 years. When he gets out, he's going to go back into the building, climb into the air ducts,
Just
get the
go get it.
diamond. Problem is, that building became an LAPD headquarters. So he dresses up, he gets a badge made, fake ID, and he becomes a cop because he needs to get into the building and get that diamond. It's a very funny movie.
There's some funny
It was pretty
parts.
off the radar, I would imagine, back in 99. And Martin Lawrence is set to create a sequel for it now. And there's really no other details other than it's his production company putting it together. No idea if Luke Wilson or Dave Chappelle or any of the other characters are going to be in there.
This quote. The question is moot. I don't know, man. There were so many unanswered questions left from Blue Streak 1.
I'm telling you again, I watched it last night. I watched the entire movie. There wasn't a single question afterwards. It ended. It was fine. It's all good.
You're not going to believe this, but I robbed another jewelry store.
I left yet
hid
another
diamond in a building that's going to be under construction.
It's a fire department.
This time it's an FBI
agency.
Like, I get it because, I was 9 when that movie came out. But if you were 15 to 20 years old, you watched the movie. Now that millennial audience is the wide audience that's spending the majority of the money these days. So all these actors are coming up with, hey, let's make a sequel that nobody asked for. Let's redo this. Let's redo that.
I hid it in the White House. Now I have to be elected president.
Have you guys seen the previews for Gladiator 2? I finally saw one over the weekend, and I didn't know how to feel. I think I'm in. I think that I'm in.
Denzel Washington?
Denzel's in it. I'm in, I think.
I don't know. I always deluded myself into thinking the first Gladiator was somehow historically accurate. So you can't really make a sequel to it, even though I know it's not.
There's no Russell Crowe. So that's, this is a different scene, I guess, from that time period.
Right.
So
just more gladiators.
More gladiatoring. I always say the more gladiators, the better. You like gladiator films, Tommy. The first reviews have said it was good. Okay, I'll probably check that out. I really liked the first one a lot.
Speaking of Denzel, I watched.
Oh, it's Maximus's son? I thought he was killed.
They can always work that out in scripts.
Father to a murdered
the
son.
son he didn't know he had.
Oh, okay, an illegitimate child,
something like
perhaps. Sure.
I mean, it's 2024. I was flipping through the guide on Saturday. Training Day was on.
Oh,
Instant Stop Down.
Elite.
It's one of my favorite movies. You know what I don't need 25 years later? Training Day 2.
Part 2. Ethan Hawke's kid meets Denzel's son.
I just gave somebody an idea.
Then again, I didn't think we needed Top Gun 2. It was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
So,
That's
who knows?
Damn, dude.
Absolute rare exception.
Adam says Blue Streak made over $100 million on a $35 million budget.
It's incredible.
How old is Martin Lawrence now?
He's got to be 65. He looks great, dude. I
thought he didn't, he had a health scare.
He had a big, bad
Will
health
Smith
scare.
was literally holding him up for
Yeah.
a press tour for the new Bad Boys.
All right, I'm in.
He's
All right, I'll see it.
59 years old.
59, okay. I'll go see it. I'll see Blue Streak, too. 'Cause why not?
All right, take a quick timeout. We will come back. Still have to look ahead. Game 3 of the World Series. Pretty much must win for the New York Yankees. It's Ben and Woods back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Did have what I understand is some fairly big soccer news this morning. Woods, I don't know that either you nor I will find this to be earth-shattering, but Manchester United fired their coach, or as they say in soccer, sacked their manager, Erik ten Hag, after a 2-1 loss upset against West Ham United. Oof. Interesting because they had just extended his contract in the summer, but they had just 4 wins in their first 13 games to start the new English Premier League season. So fairly big name in the world of soccer coaching out at Old Trafford.
It's a tough scene when you re-up someone and then end up firing them. How many games in?
13.
13 games.
Yeah.
So maybe this wasn't the right decision.
That's about all the commentary I can offer, other than knowing that that's like worldwide. That's what everyone's buzzing about, far shores of the globe.
Oh, yeah.
Sports fans this morning is the Manchester United news.
Well, I'll be heading to Manchester, as you know.
That's right.
In about 9 months. I'm counting the days.
Manchester United's the red team.
And
Manchester City's the light blue team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so I think all you need to know.
Now, I'm wondering, is the season going on then next July 19th?
It will be, I believe. Yes.
If they're home, I have to try to go, right? I have to try to
see. There, I think either one. You could probably go see a fun, get the real experience of a top Premier League side at home.
The whole scene.
You could be a hooligan, I think.
I think I already am one.
I mean, you'd fit right in with the hooligans.
Is that just a general name?
Yeah, for soccer fans who also are troublemakers.
Now, somebody right here says it ends in May, so you don't know what you're talking about.
It ends in May.
Yeah.
Well, when does it start? It's like it gets going. Yeah, that's true. The summer is when they do their tours around the world and stuff.
Maybe I go do a tour of Man City's place.
Because that was when Manchester United came here, like last July or something, and made the visit. That's a good point.
So no,
I kind of forget what day. I thought it was like May right now, and July is coming up. It's only October.
It's your birthday this week.
Yeah,
so.
I'm totally lost on the calendar. I should know. Basketball season's underway. Did Basketball Woods? Have you watched a second of the NBA season so far? Let me just ask.
Oh, yeah.
You have watched some. What did you watch?
I watched the Lakers game.
Which one?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Opening night.
But not since then?
Huh.
They've actually gotten off to a really good start.
Well,
3-0.
I don't think anybody cares, but I do. I haven't even gotten to watch football.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting you to watch a bunch of basketball. That's okay.
Dad stuff's taking over right now.
But as the resident Lakers fan of the program, nice job by J.J. Redick so
Great
far.
job. 3-0, right?
LeBron James continues to defy.
He's going to go right into it. Probably.
Age. Did you see what he did on Saturday? 16 points in 3 minutes in the fourth quarter.
LeBron did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. So they're on the road tonight at Phoenix, their first road game of the season. Clippers won 2 in a row. After they lost their home opener at their new stadium, they went and won 2 on the road. So my son is pretty happy about that. And I like the Thunder. They've been playing really well.
I'm still a Memphis fan. How are they looking?
That's a good question. How has Memphis done to start this season? The answer, Woods, the Memphis Grizzlies are good. 2-1. 2-1.
Okay.
There you go. Behind only the Lakers and the Thunder in the Western Conference. All right, we have one segment left. We do want to preview the World Series Game 3. If you missed it, do you want to bring back up Scott Boris's comments just a little bit at the end of the program
you want
here?
To? I mean,
just to reset what he said. We both are on record as to why we think it was unfair and inappropriate of Scott Boras to mention Peter Seidler in context with Juan Soto, and was undoubtedly a strategy to try to, drive up the price of Juan Soto.
It's just gross, man. It's the angling that's going on right now during the World Series is not unexpected from Scott Boras, but it's a gross.
But if you
tactic.
missed it, I'll bring up a couple of the quotes that he had in USA Today this morning. I get to that coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Quick question. Maybe Woods can answer it. Probably directed more towards Paulie, although maybe he's even too old for this one. Can anyone tell me about, I don't know if it's pronounced Saweetie or Sweetie? She was
Saweetie.
Saweetie. Now, she was at the Aztecs game I went to on Saturday night, and quite popular with the kids. She had her backup dancers and did a routine, and they introduced her.
alum.
They introduced her as SDSU alum Saweetie, and everyone was really excited to see her. She had some good moves. I think they played some of her music as well. But
what
is
is she?
Well,
She's
that's
hip hop musician.
Singer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Artist. All right. I had no idea.
Kind of a rising star in the music world. But she was at the Aztecs game on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think she only went there for like a year.
Oh, okay. Not the.
I could be wrong.
Saweetie. Saweetie?
Saweetie, I believe.
Saweetie.
Saweetie. She had some moves, I will say that.
She's good.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paulie, for getting me up with what the kids are listening to today. All right, we'll check traffic one last time. Here's one quote I did not read earlier from Scott Boras that I saved. Peter Seidler was not trading Juan Soto. No way. He kept saying, I traded for a franchise. I'm not giving him up. He couldn't believe the Nationals traded Juan Soto. He loved Juan. Part of the context, the story that was written in
That's
USA
even more
Today.
gross.
Yeah, I know. It's
Scrolly,
unappealing to read that this morning, and we have a big problem with it, and we're going to bring it back up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the brand new Front Wave Arena in Oceanside. Guys, we're wrapping things up kind of on a busy note here. We still have this crash, the clearing stage, northbound 15 before Friars Road. Motorcycle involved. It's in the center divide. Also, it looks like a crash in which a sign got taken out on the East Main Street off-ramp of westbound 8. Several problems in the North County, traveling on northbound 15 before West Bernardo. There's a stalled car over the right shoulder of the HOV lane. Also southbound 15, right before or past Via Rancho Parkway, some wood debris in the slow lane. And Cordell traffic cam shows some wood debris in lanes on westbound 78 just before Civic Center. The San Diego Clippers are ready for an exciting season at Front Wave Arena. The home opener on November 8th is Bill Walton Night, presented by Front Wave Credit Union. Join the fun as we celebrate Bill Walton and his legacy. You won't want to miss it. Grab your tickets at frontwavearena.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Woods, I guess the one thing that we can confirm, because Peter Seidler said it himself, he was a big Juan Soto fan and was very hopeful that, Juan Soto would remain a Padre for a long time. And I think he wanted to do that. But at this point, none of what Scott Boras said to USA Today's Bob Nightingale can really be confirmed, or at least even if it happened, there's no context added to it. And, according
it's unnecessary.
According to Scott Boras, he said he was deep in contract negotiations with the Padres and Peter to extend Juan Soto and keep him in a Padres uniform, that Juan Soto would not have been traded had Peter Seidler still been alive, and went through this extensively in what both of you and I believe are just part of the psychological games that Scott Boras plays for his clients to try to extract maximum value approaching, major free agency. But ultimately, none of this to me is really advances the story or can ever really shed any light on what was really going on with Peter Seidler and Scott Boras in the days and weeks before Peter Seidler passed away.
And as I said, man, the fact that yesterday it comes out that the Dodgers are in on Juan Soto in the offseason, it's so... Like, if you're a Dodger fan, I don't even know that you can get excited about it. You have to know every offseason you're going to be in on any free agent that you want, right? Like, that goes with the territory. If there's a free agent that Andrew Friedman has identified as somebody that can help us win a World Series, we're going to be in on them. Correct? Everyone agrees with that principle? They can afford it. They can absolutely swing it. Luxury tax, no issue, whatever. So if you're a Dodger fan, don't buy the bait that it comes out 2 days into the World Series that, we're going to be in on this guy. Bro, there's potentially only 2 games left of the World Series. Scott Boras is trying to up Juan Soto's value, which, again, I don't know how necessary it is. Everybody knows how valuable Juan Soto is going to be. But he's also trying to raise the price on the New York Yankees and the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, 3 teams that are on the East Coast that have been rumored to be in on Juan Soto. Business 101. Trust me. Like, anybody that's ever negotiated a contract or has an agent that's negotiated a contract, our agent calls Adam and Michael and says, well, they got 1 foot out the door, guys. I mean, that's just how it goes. It's what you do. It's gross that Boras does this now, and it's gross to me that he invokes the name of Peter Seidler. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. And the only thing I can think of is that talking about Juan Soto still being a Padre if Peter Seidler was alive just tells the Yankees, well, I guess he was pretty comfortable on the West Coast. We probably do need to make sure we come in at $700 million. And Steve Cohen and Dave Dombrowski and all those guys in Philadelphia that want Juan Soto as well. That's all it does for me. It's just a gross way to let everybody know Juan Soto's happy playing on the West. He's happy playing on the East.
I guess the most cynical reading of this, if Scott Boras is to be believed 100%, which I do not, but if he was, it would be that Peter Seidler had a plan and a direction for the organization and was prepared to continue to spend massively every year. And then the second he passed away, the Padres just threw that all out the window and basically said, no, we're going in a completely different direction than what Peter Seidler wanted. And that's the part that I find the most insulting.
But every other aspect of the organization has been, we are going to fulfill Peter's dream of bringing a World Series to San Diego.
Correct.
And for them to then, 2 weeks after his passing, be like, all right, now we can trade Juan Soto. Because I do believe that Peter wanted to keep Juan.
Yeah, I do believe that they were talking about keeping
I believe
Juan.
AJ wanted to keep him.
100%.
So, and, Peter Seidler was, very wealthy man, as is every owner in Major League Baseball. Peter Seidler was not the standalone. He wasn't the Steve Ballmer of baseball. Steve Ballmer is actually way richer than even the other NBA owners for the most part. Joe Tsai is kind of in that category, but they're for the most part, Peter Seidler was a rich man just like the rest of the owners. If you want to say be critical of the Padres because they're spending less than they were, then be critical of every other team that is not spending, because they all have the means that Peter Seidler has to spend on their team if they wanted to. There was nothing unique about Peter's situation that allowed him to spend where other teams in baseball could not. And I just don't think that it was realistic, even if Peter Seidler was still alive, for the Padres to continue to just up the payroll and sign Juan Soto to a $550, $600 million deal. And they'd already signed Xander Bogaerts at that point, so that he wasn't going anywhere. Manny had been signed. Fernando Tatis Jr. had been signed. Yu Darvish had been signed. Joe Musgrove has been signed for a long-term deal. I don't know that there was a lot of wiggle room there for the San Diego Padres to make that move and even have a complementary roster around those players. The closest they came was in 2023, and it didn't work at all in 2023. They turned Juan Soto into the players they needed to make a run, to the point where even Skip Schumacher earlier said, I think that was the best team we faced, all season long. Even Dodgers fans going, yeah, the Padres choked. They had us, and, they choked it away, but they had us, and Padres could have been your World Series champion based on what AJ put together by trading Juan Soto. Not because, had he just kept Juan Soto, they would have won the World Series easy. No, they got that close because of the Juan Soto trade. There's no other way to really read that.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, you'd have a roster like you built, but also have Juan Soto. That probably wasn't going to happen. So, but I watch Juan Soto hit in the postseason, Ben. It's a marvel. I mean, he's a marvel. He's built for those moments. He's fantastic at it, and he's kind of the anti-Aaron Judge right now for the New York Yankees. You really feel like he's going to do damage when he comes up there, and if he's not, he's going to get on. But getting on in front of Aaron Judge isn't doing much for anybody right now. You need to actually slug if you're Juan Soto. It changes the game a little bit, but yeah, I just, there's no need almost a year later to keep bringing up Peter Seidler, what he wanted to do, and how bummed the Padres are because they can no longer be the Padres without him there.
You mentioned something I did not realize that. So you told me Clark Schmidt, who's the starter for Game 3 tonight.
Yeah,
his dad.
That's a pilot.
Is a pilot.
Yeah.
Now he flew the Yankees plane.
Yeah, he flew the plane
to Los Angeles or back to New York.
To L.A.
Now, did they say, well, we didn't do well in Los Angeles, so we need a different pilot to take us back to New York, or how does that work?
I have no idea. All I know is I saw that Clark Schmidt, who will be the Game 3 starter tonight, his dad is a pilot and flies. Has flown them before, I think.
Okay, so he works for the company, whatever charter they go with, Delta or whoever it is. He works for them, and
I believe occasionally
it is Delta. Gets assigned to his son's flights on the Yankees plane.
Pretty badass.
That is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. My dad's flying the plane. Oh yeah, well my dad's actually flying us. Oh, your dad threw you batting practice? My dad's flying the plane, buddy. Clark Schmidt's a good pitcher, man. Could be an interesting game tonight. Walker Buehler on the bump for the Dodgers. Yeah, he's really, really figured it out so far in the postseason. Has been a little bit like the Walker Buehler of old. But tonight is going to be such a must-win in New York. New York has got to bring it, man. They've got to be loud. They got to be New Yorkers. They have to make it uncomfortable for those guys. But the Dodgers right now, the way that they're playing, it doesn't look like anything's getting to them. Honestly, it doesn't look like they're phased by anything. I do expect Shohei in the lineup tonight. Dave Roberts told Carl Ravitch yesterday he's going to be in there for Game 3. I'm certainly, what is it? It's his left arm?
Left shoulder. Try
to make him fish for some pitches. He's been doing that a lot. I mean, he's expanded the zone as much as I've ever seen him expand the zone in these last couple series. He's susceptible.
I think we can probably assume that Shohei is not going to feel his best.
Well,
whether he performs at his best is a different question.
So
but he won't.
Let me ask you a question here.
Feel his best going into the game today.
Let me ask you a question here. If he gets off a couple of A swings early against Clark Schmidt or the Yankees, you just walk him because he's not stealing. He's not running anymore. The Shohei stealing a bag on you is probably not going to happen unless he decides to completely.
Can you not? I mean, I know he was sliding feet first, but
no,
you don't have to jam your shoulder down to steal.
Did
you
he
can still run?
Did he go feet?
He went feet first, but he put his left hand down into the dirt, and it jammed up the shoulder, and that's what dislocated it. But as long as you don't stick your left hand in the dirt, you can run. With a dislocated shoulder.
Running's fine.
Yeah,
but
you can slide feet first.
Do you want him stealing bags with a subluxation?
I don't want him sliding head first, that's for sure.
Do you want him stealing bags?
It's less
with a
likely. You're right.
subluxation?
It's less likely that he's going to steal bags.
Right. So do you then
a walk
him?
is less dangerous than it was. I will concede that point to you. I don't think it's impossible. If he thought, I got a great jump, I'm going to take this pretty easily, and I can go in sliding, just don't jam my left arm into anything as I go down.
Easier
could
said
run.
than done.
Yeah, it is easier said than done.
Easier said than
just
done.
like it was easy to tell Fernando when he had his subluxation, hey, don't one hand follow through.
Yeah.
Keep your hand on the bat. And it was like he tried, but he still ended up doing the one hand follow through because it's instinct, it's natural, and I would imagine for Shohei he'll have to overcome some of those natural instincts as well.
Yeah, you wonder how the swing's going to feel, how that's going to be. I'm just trying to think. Your left shoulder subluxated. Sublux.
You got it.
Yeah, you just got subluxed. My left shoulder is totally subluxed right now. I don't know if I can swing. Of course he's going to be in there, and of course he's going to, you have to game plan for him. But you do wonder, man, are they going to completely shut him down on the base paths?
I do think that, and I said it last week, if the Yankees really wanted a good chance to win this series, Game 1 was the one they had to take. And they had it.
They had it.
They had it a couple of times, 2-1 in the 8th, 3-2 in the
defense,
10th.
Man. Killed
and
you.
when they couldn't get that done, I could not see the path to victory. Obviously, any path to victory for the Yankees now does involve winning tonight, in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
But, if Walker Buehler pitches well, Clark Schmidt is a good pitcher. But, the Yankees held the Dodgers down in Game 1 to 2 runs until they put 4 on the board on the last swing. They scored 6 there.
Yankees bullpen's been
They
outstanding.
scored 4. I mean, they've held the Dodgers.
outstanding.
6-4 is holding the Dodgers in check. But they pretty much averaged 5 runs for the playoffs. Yeah. They've averaged 5 runs in the first 2 games. They're probably going to get close to 5 again tonight against Clark Schmidt. Are they going to be able to score more than 5 against Walker Buehler and that Dodgers bullpen?
If Aaron Judge starts to hit.
Yeah, that's the thing. They can. Padres did it. They scored 6 in 1 inning off Walker Buehler. It's possible. But if they don't get to Walker Buehler and they've only got 1 or 2 runs, and then they got to figure we need at least 3 or 4 more to win this game against the Dodgers bullpen,
yeah, I mean,
then the Yankees are in a lot of trouble.
Walker's ERA is inflated because of that one bad inning, but he went 4 scoreless against the Mets, 6 Ks, getting swing and misses again. He's been good, outside of that 1 inning that, again, probably wasn't his fault. It was Miguel Rojas and kind of a seeing eye 20 hopper down the line on a gimpy Freddie Freeman, couldn't make the play. And, yeah, man, it's just who can hit tonight? Who can hit? If Aaron Judge comes through tonight, I think the Yankees can win. If he doesn't, they're not going to. They're going nowhere without their captain leading them.
I think the other concern is even if Shohei Ohtani for some reason was out, like they show up today and Dave had been playing the con and he's not even playing the rest of the series, they have enough to win 2 of 5 games even without him.
There is no doubt.
That's
They're a deep team.
That's the mountain that the Yankees now face. But they do have the next 3 at home.
What happens? What do you guys got?
I got the Yanks tonight.
Dodgers. Go ahead, put up the blue screen one more time for me.
You can't stop rooting for the Dodgers.
Wrap up the show.
This is
I'm
unbelievable.
just going to turn your mic off.
Oh, there it is. So long, everybody.